Good evening, everyone. This is a conference meeting of the Municipal Council of the City of Orange Township held at City Hall, 29 North Day Street, Orange, New Jersey, on Wednesday, August 5th at 7:02 p.m. Roll call. Councilman Coley?
Present.
Councilwoman Hilbert? Present. Council Vice President Montague III?
Present.
Councilwoman Ogborn? Present. Councilman Ward III?
Present.
Councilwoman Wooten is absent, and Council President Ross.
Here.
Also present is Tricia Scipio, Chris Hartwig, Derek Brown, Fire Chief, Niall Clements, CFO, Brian Mooley, Police Chief, Garcia Armantilla, City Attorney, and Marlon G. Towns, Legislative Research Officer. We're going to pause right now to hear from our Council President.
Good afternoon, everyone. I said good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. Good evening. Before we begin tonight's conference meeting, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our two newly elected council members, James Ward and Lynn Ogborn. Although both were sworn into office on July 1st, this is their first meeting in the council chambers. On behalf of the Municipal Council, we welcome you. We look forward to working with you both as you continue to serve the residents of the City of Orange Township. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council President.
Madam Clerk.
Now, at this time, we will recognize a moment of silence, and we're going to ask any council members if they have something specific they would like to recognize in this moment.
Yes, if we can recognize the Park Place fire victims at this time.
And I would like to ask everyone to join us in a moment of silence. Since our last council meeting, our community has suffered a significant number of losses. Tonight's agenda includes 7 memorial resolutions, along with 2 additional walk-on resolutions, recognizing a total of 9 individuals who have recently passed away. Our thoughts and prayers are with their families, friends, and loved ones during this difficult time.
Anyone else? We'll bow our heads in a moment of silence. Thank you all so much. Please be apprised, anyone wishing to discuss agenda or general items shall sign their name on the comment sign-up sheet and will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to interact with council. Sunshine Law. The requirements of NJSA 10:4-9 SA, commonly known as the Open Public Meetings Act, Sunshine Law, has been satisfied. A notice of this meeting was published in the Star Ledger on Friday, July 10th, 2026, and on the city's official website. Notice was also posted on the Municipal Council's website, posted on the official bulletin board at City Hall, and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk. At this time, we'll have matters for discussion. We'll hear from our Police Department, Police Chief Brian Mooney.
I'd just like to say something. As Council President, one of my goals is to regularly invite members of the administration or other qualified individuals to appear before the council to discuss important items affecting our community. Tonight, I have asked Captain Brian Mooney to join us to discuss New Jersey's Chief, to discuss New Jersey's new e-bike and electric scooter laws, which became effective on July 19th. These new regulations affect both riders and enforcement, and I believe it's important that council and the public understand how the City of Orange plans to implement and enforce these new regulations. Chief Mooney, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. If I may, it was wonderful seeing everybody last night with the Orange and National Night Out. It was prideful to see a lot of smiling faces and a very successful evening. The weather was great. Just a couple of quick footnotes. I just want to get them in now before I go into this. We have our Junior Public Safety Academy, and I'm sure Chief Brown can elaborate. if need be. Graduation will be held Friday at 2 p.m. in Monte Irving Park in the field house. And then 5 p.m. will be a memorial service recognition for the 20-year anniversary of the murder of Karan Shields, Detective Karan Shields. His family will be in attendance and some officers. All are welcome to stop by and from 5 to 6 in Orange Park. Okay, so on the New Jersey e-bike law that went into effect July 19th, I checked the website. It is actively working. There are a bunch of parameters that go into effect. We've had some minimal encounters since it came in. Most of it has been late night with some delivery type, which we anticipated, the e-bike protocols. But just some footnotes. I put out on the table 2 flyers. One is just from the Orange Police Department about it, some contact numbers, who needs to qualify, who needs to get a license for e-bike, who needs to register it. And then the other one is literally like what's from the website. It's drop down, so I just printed it out, where you would basically, if you go to our Facebook page, we have it where if you click on the New Jersey Motor Vehicles, you'll get right to it. If not, you'll see when you do click on it, you'll see what's on the table. So there's plenty for everybody in attendance to take one. But just some basic understanding of what it is. E-bikes now for 15-year-olds and up need to be registered. 15-year-olds need to be licensed. So the difference, obviously, bicycle, obviously human bicycle, no accelerant to it whatsoever, other than your helmet's required under 17. You then have a low-speed electric scooter. So that is up to 19 miles an hour. We see a lot of those around, zipping around town. The requirements for those are only the same. Helmet required, 17 and under. That's up to 19 miles an hour. Up to 20 miles an hour is a big jump. So what the difference is in the 1 mile an hour speed that the New Jersey Department of Motor Vehicles came up with is a low-speed electric bicycle pedal assistance. So those are the ones you pedal and you can enhance it with your pedaling. That will require a valid driver's license for anyone 15 and up, or a New Jersey driver's license for anyone that's 17 and over who would have a license. So if you're 15, you're going to ride one, you got to get a license. You got to get it registered. It does not require insurance, and that's for 15 and up. The motorized bicycle, throttle capable up to 28 miles an hour. You need it all. You need a New Jersey driver's license. You need a moped license. You need registration, you need insurance. Now, 15 and up can operate these. And again, it needs, if you went to motor vehicle for a 15-year-old, you would need a parental signature form signed, and the 6 points apply to 15-year-olds. I didn't go into great depth yet, but how you would come up with those, I think it's sponsored by the parent that would be able to vouch for the child's 6 points to get a license for that, 15 and up. And then you have electric motorized bicycle, basically an e-bike, looks a little closer to a motorcycle that goes over 28 miles an hour, and that's the same thing. Has to be 17 and up to operate that, and that's basically everything you would need for a motor vehicle. You need a registration, you need an insurance, you need a driver's license. And you need a motorcycle license for that in addition. That's basically the general. I can take some questions. I kind of read through the website. I read through all the requirements, but basically all motor vehicle laws apply. So the problem is if you have a 16-year-old and there's a reckless situation going on, they could receive summonses that could affect their motor vehicle license going forward. Yes, Councilman.
Chief, there's a lot of scooters and e-bikes on the road right now for kids under the age of 17, riding them all around the city and in the streets. How will the police department enforce them registering those scooters, them bikes, and getting licenses for those bikes and scooters?
So if they're stopped or they do stop, there is, like I said, I know there's a general consensus. A lot of them don't stop, but a lot of the delivery people do. The scooters, like I said, is not much. It's very similar to what it was already. It's basically no minimum age and nothing else required. So for us to enforce them, if they're acting reckless, we could confiscate the bike and impound it and then take the child have a parental signature to get out, escort them home and take any curbside adjustment against them. But basically, there's no real new laws to the scooters. That basically remains the same. As far as the e-bikes go, yes, we'll impound them. We'll issue the summonses where appropriate. Like I said, we have discretion, especially with juveniles, like any other situation. We can use curbside adjustments. We can notify the parents or school. Like I said, an impound on the bike alone is a pretty lengthy penalty. Once we start writing summonses, and there are definitely occurrences where that's going to happen, especially if they're operated against traffic and reckless, as we're probably talking about here, and then those summonses will carry with the under 18. As far as the over 18, where we're going to enforce it mostly because it's motor vehicle violations, those will be enforced a lot more than now that the laws are on the books than they were prior.
What will be the fines for these scooters for no registrations and no licenses?
So I don't, basically an unregistered vehicle will operate the same way. An unregistered scooter or bike would be the same motor vehicle summonses, either whether it's local or state. And I think all of these are state at this time. So I'd have to see what they are, probably about $65 for the ticket. And then the impound is like any other impound. They'll have to go and get it out. We're not going to store them at headquarters or anywhere else. They're going to go to impound lots for the garages.
Okay. Any questions?
I have one question. So they distinguish in the law scooters from e-bikes, correct?
They distinguish, yes, between the e-bikes and the scooters, and it's only the 1 mile an hour difference.
And what about the one-wheel devices?
The which one?
One-wheel devices.
So a unicycle, it's not accounted for in the new laws at all. So I did check it on, so I have a cheat sheet here. I'll leave a few on the table, or I can provide them to the council. And then there's, but nowhere in the new laws do they account for the unicycle type style.
'Cause some of those go pretty fast as
Yes,
well.
so anything over 28 miles an hour, we would treat as a motor vehicle or motorcycle. So if we were to confiscate them for violations, it would be just under regular motor vehicle offenses, nothing to do with e-bikes.
Is there anything that we can do to put out the signage? Like, I think it was 2 or 4 years ago, we instituted a driving school law, so there's a change of law. Can we put out some of that signage so that people are aware, especially around parks and schools where children are going to be riding these motorized vehicles during the summer, so they at least know.
So because we're in the middle of summer and school is not in session, we'll repost on the city website, we'll repost on our Facebook page, and we will prepare the school for September return for their students. So I'll get that to them. And actually, while the Junior Public Safety Academy is going on, we could distribute it to the children that are there as well, and the parents.
Okay.
But we'll definitely have plenty, like I said, I put about 30 on the table. Like I said, getting the word out is important, I understand that, and we'll continue to try.
I was actually talking about the digital signs that are trailer attached.
I think we have the capability. I think we're good with it. Yeah, so I'm just confirming with the traffic lieutenant to make sure we have the capability and it's updated. So yes, that's a good idea. We'll put it out and we'll blast it, probably usually on the busy roads like Scotland Road and such.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Any other council members? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Clerk?
Awesome. Legislation, the resolutions and ordinance. Before we move on, Council President, I want to put for the record that Councilwoman Wooten arrived at 7:06 p.m.
Thank you.
Legislation, the resolutions and ordinance to be presented at tonight's meeting are listed on the attached regular meeting agenda. If any council member wishes to discuss any resolution or ordinance, it may be discussed at this time. And I have the notes that 367, 2026, 413, 2026 will be pulled. Ordinance 28 and 29, 26 would be pulled.
Can you say that one more time?
Yes. Resolutions, 367-2026, 413-2026, Ordinance 28-2026, 29-2026.
Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman.
for ordinance 28, 2026, can we postpone it and bring it back the first meeting in September instead of pulling it?
28?
No. Yes, 28, yes.
Sure.
Got it.
Thank you.
Councilwoman.
Make sure you speak into the mic.
Yeah,
Sorry, 28, 29, and what were the other ones?
28,
So 28 is going to be postponed.
Okay.
29, 2026 will be pulled. That's the ordinance 29, 2026. Resolution 367-2026 and 413-2026 will be pulled. Any other council member?
405. (2026).
405, you want to pull it for a separate vote?
Yes.
I would like to pull 402 for a separate vote and 399 for a separate vote. Additionally,
402, 399 by Councilman Ward, 405 by Councilman Coley.
I got a couple more. 411, 410, 407, and 406.
Wait, go back again, I'm sorry. 410,
410 and 411.
411, speak into the mic a little bit more, I'm sorry.
410 and 411.
Mm-hmm.
407 and 406.
And I would like to, 380.
Anyone else?
Yes. I want to pull 367.
367, you said?
Yes.
That's, gotta be pulled already.
It's already pulled already.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Council President,
Yes.
is that being pulled for a separate vote, or is it being pulled from the
No,
agenda?
that one's being
From the
pulled.
agenda? Okay,
From the
thank you.
agenda,
Yes.
completely pulled.
Did I include, was 409 included?
409 was not included. You want to
Yeah,
pull that one as
409
well?
as well.
Question, we're pulling 367, so 405, that should be pulled completely, or are we just gonna vote it down?
No. So
And
it's
speaking
kind
to
of
the
a
mic, sir.
duplicate resolution.
Say again?
I said it's kind of a duplicate resolution, so 405 stays and 367 comes off.
Is there anybody else?
Okay, so I
Council
will,
Council President, give me one
Council-
minute. I have to find the resolution that goes with the ordinance for 29.
it's,
So
I can tell you what it is,
You can't-
413.
413?
Yes.
Okay. So
We got four.
we're gonna postpone that to the first meeting?
You want to postpone that one?
Postpone it, yes, ma'am, to the first meeting in September. Thank you.
Council President, can we pull 409 and 410? They're combined.
Those are already,
409 and 410 was already asked to be pulled.
Okay, I didn't hear that. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody else?
410. Okay. I think we pulled them.
If not, Madam Chair, could you just go over all
Yes.
the ones that's gonna be pulled?
okay, so the ones that are being pulled completely are 360, Resolution 367-2026. Ordinance 29-2026. Being postponed is ordinance 28-2026. Resolution 413-2026. pull for a separate vote is for 399, 402, 405, 410, 411, 407, 406, 409, and 380. Those are the ones that are being pulled for a separate vote. Is there any discussion about any other resolution or ordinance?
You did say 4 or 5.
Need to be removed. Can I do that?
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
I wanted to have a slight discussion, but I didn't necessarily want something removed.
You want,
Um,
okay, which resolution?
So 363 through 365. These are the appointments to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. I thought that it was our policy as council members to interview all appointees to these boards. When I was appointed to that board, I was interviewed, and it was a separate closed-door meeting. We didn't do that for any of these people, and it'd be good to vet people that are being appointed to a quasi-judicial board. Everyone has people that want to go onto these boards, and they should be vetted by the city council, as it always has been in the past.
Not before, but it's up to the council if they want to. If you have 4 people that want to vote it on without the interview, you can.
Okay, how would these folks elected?
You mean before the last 3?
Yeah, for right now.
Well, each, if you look on the thing, each candidate was appointed by a specific council member. The first one by Councilman Montague, the second one by Councilman Coley, and the third by Councilwoman Ogborn.
Okay.
So if you want to postpone to have them on the next meeting and doing a interview prior, if you want to move forward, it's up to the council members
Well,
as a whole.
I don't want to go against the council members that already selected the people that they want on this board, okay? And these people already been notified that they got to be on the agenda to be put on the zoning board. So I want to leave it as it is. In the future going forward, you know, then we can do what you're saying, Councilman.
Okay.
Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman.
through you to Attorney Gross Montilles. The last time we did an appointment, I believe, was for a zoning board member, Mr. Jackson, and we did do an interview. We did an interview for him.
I'm actually
Please.
checking. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. My
yeah.
apologies. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We
Yeah,
didn't
I'm looking at the head shaking, but I'm addressing you, so I'm so sorry. We did an interview for that person. Even though they were nominated for an appointment, we as a council got to interview that person and then make a decision as a council. There are some individuals here, we're not saying that they're not qualified, we're just saying give the full council the ability to weigh in on their credentials and how they would best serve the community. So I think it's fair that we at least know who we're appointing, and I think that was something that we discussed previously about the appointments. Just because you appoint them, the rest of the council members have to vote on it.
So what the council wants to do as a whole should be guided by what's in our code, which I'm checking now. So depending upon what it says, if it does call for interviews, then obviously that has to occur. If it doesn't, then it's the will of the governing body as to how you want to proceed with those appointments. So I would suggest / recommend that we hold off on making any decisions regarding these appointments until such time as I've been able to render a legal opinion or advice regarding the appointment. So let me continue to review the code, and we can certainly circle back on those items.
Thank you.
Through Council President, can I make one more comment on this?
Sure.
So for the last 5 years, I sat on the zoning board, and I want to say maybe 2, if not 3, out of the last few appointments that were made to the zoning board were people that never showed up to a single meeting.
Facts.
Not a single meeting, not one at all. So I think it is important that we make it a policy to interview these people. I don't know if any of them are present. I know that when I was appointed, I was here and I presented myself. It's important that these people show up. This is not a committee of such like many other boards. This is a quasi-judicial board. The decisions they make can get us sued, and it's important that we choose the right people.
Well, how I look at it, Councilman Ward, is that I have respect for each and every one of you. And if you put somebody on a board, I'm sure you vetted them, you spoke to them, you let them know what's going on this board, what your responsibilities are, and that you have to attend these meetings. So, I kind of think it's, too much to have interviews. I mean, you guys are the council people. You're not going to put anybody on these boards that you don't think don't have the qualifications or will not be able to uphold, the qualifications of that board. So that's how I look at it, but at the advice of the council, we'll take it off until further notice.
Council President?
I just said,
Right.
I'm going to review the code now. I'm not recommending that we take it off the
Okay.
agenda
All
in
right.
its
I
entirety.
misunderstood.
Let me just come back to the council once I've reviewed the legal process with respect to what our code says.
Right, okay.
Council President, I did have another thing to follow up. Well, through you to the clerk, are we still able to add another resolution to postpone for separate vote, for separate conversation?
A separate vote for the zoning?
No, resolution. I want to add another resolution.
You want to add another resolution?
Yes.
She want
For
to
a
pull
separate
another
vote?
resolution.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, so I would like to add 381, Resolution 381-2026.
Councilwoman Wooten had a comment.
You clear, it was cleared up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council President.
Anybody else?
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion Coley.
Second?
Second.
Motion to adjourn was made by Councilman Coley, second by Councilman Ward III. On the motion? Any opposed? We stand adjourned at 7:30 p.m. This is the regular meeting of the Municipal Council of the City of Orange Township at City Hall, 29 North Day Street, Orange, New Jersey, on Wednesday, August 5th, following the conference meeting. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Councilman Coley, can you lead us in a pledge of allegiance?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Roll call. Councilman Coley.
Present.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Present.
Councilman Montague III.
Present.
Councilwoman Ogborn.
Present.
Councilman Ward III.
Present.
Councilwoman Wooten.
Here.
Council President Ross.
Here.
Also present is Tricia Scipio, Chris Hartwike, Derek Brown, Fire Chief, Niall Clements, CFO, Brian Mooney, Police Chief, Garcia Armantillis, City Attorney, Marlon G. Towns, Legislative Research Officer. The requirements of NJSA 10:4-9 et seq., commonly known as the Open Public Meetings Act, Sunshine Law, has been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was published in the Star Ledger on Friday, July 10th, 2026, and on the city's official website. Notice was also posted on the municipal's website, posted in the official bulletin board at City Hall, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk. There are no minutes for approval. Reports. Department Revenue Collection. Department of Community Service for June 2026, $18,124.50. Municipal Clerk's Office, $356.98. Department of Planning, $48,524. Department of Public Works was $5,905, all for the month of June 2026. Open requests for June 2026, 141 were requested, 84 completed, and 57 remaining. There were no communications and petitions. Citizens' comments on general issues and agenda items. Members of the public wishing to address the council may do so during this portion of the meeting. Speakers must sign their name on the comment sign-up sheet and approach the microphone when called upon. To allow maximum public involvement, each speaker is permitted 1 3-minute period to interact with the council and must provide his or her name, address, and street address prior to beginning any remarks. Visual aids are not permitted. Speakers are reminded to be courteous and mindful of other individuals. Each person has the right to speak on any subject but is responsible for abuse of that right. The city bears no liability for any comments made by the public and maintains discretion to remove any person engaging in obscene or disruptive conduct. The council will consider all comments and questions and will respond if and when appropriate, which may or may not be during this meeting.
Hey, Chris, I think this young lady right here.
Alicia Rodriguez.
Good evening, Alicia Rodriguez, 487 Mountain View Ave. I have several questions about the ordinances and resolutions on tonight's agenda because I believe residents deserve to understand how these decisions will affect our city. First, regarding Ordinance 32, 2026. Why is the city issuing a $100,000 bond to support the financing of a 97-unit apartment building that is also receiving a 23-year tax break? What purpose does this bond serve, and why is the public's assistance necessary? Also, how will this be paid back? Is it paid back from the revenue from the investors' payments as owed to us, or from our general funds? Before approving incentives like this, has the city reviewed similar apartment developments in Orange to see whether they have been successful? How do you determine that this project will be financially beneficial for taxpayers? I also concern about the impact on city services. 97 new apartments will increase demand on police, fire, EMS, school, roads, infrastructure. How were those future costs calculated, and how do we know the annual service charge paid by the developer will cover those expenses over the next 23 years? Also, charging residents for parking for a problem that you and everyone before you has created is not fair to residents. Resolution 410. The investor's rehab contribution is listed as between $388,000 and $700,000. If the rehabilitation costs are less than the maximum amount, why wouldn't the remaining funds go into the community benefits agreement so that residents can receive additional benefits? I also have a broader question. These long-term tax exemptions are meant to encourage development that benefits the community and attracts new residents. Based on the projected rents of this project, it will be $1,950 for a studio, $2,450 for a one-bedroom. Who is this project intended for? Who is it serving? How does it improve housing affordability or benefit the people already living in Orange? Resolution 405 and 367. I'd like to understand the proposed change from Universal Hospital to Carewell Medical Health. Universal Hospital is a level 1 trauma center with extensive emergency capabilities. If this change does not provide measurable financial savings or improve services, what is the benefit to Orange residents? I am concerned that Carewell's EMS transport services are considered basic life support. They will not provide the same level of emergency resources as University Hospital that offers advanced life support EMS. Please help residents understand the public benefit of making this change and reducing quality of services today. Finally, regarding the Resolution 383, I'd like clarification why hiring an investor as a consultant, what qualifications does this person have in municipal planning regarding public health? Are they currently providing consulting services in the city of Orange? Since they are also an investor in Orange, what steps have been taken to address any potential conflicts of interest and ensure the recommendations remain independent?
Thank you.
Next.
Are you going to answer a couple? Okay.
Starting with the last one, 383, who's the investor?
Nishueng.
They're a contract planner for the city, not an investor.
So we contract them with planning right now.
Correct.
Okay, but the question specifically was what what qualities do they have in regard specifically to health?
So the Plan for Health grant requires an amendment to the master plan to put a public health component of the master plan, element of the master plan. And they've done that for several communities. It's a planning tool, so it's right up their alley. And they drafted the master plan. The Plan for Health grant also requires that a number of people be appointed to a committee to guide the planner in their work. And those people are named in the attached documents to the resolution. And they include healthcare professionals. With respect to the resolution authorizing the bond, it's a non-recourse bond, which means the municipality is not on the hook for anything. It gets paid for out of pilot revenues, a portion of the annual service charge directly to the buyer of the bond. So it's not being paid out of tax revenues, and it's not backed by the taxing power of the municipality like several of the other RAD bonds were. With respect to your questions regarding the community benefits agreement, we have estimates from contractors that peg the cost of the improvements that are listed in the community benefits agreement to the central firehouse at somewhere between $690,000 and $725,000, depending upon the improvement. So we're fairly confident that it's far in excess of the 388 that we would have garnered under the regular formula that we use for community benefit assessment. In terms of the benefits that were, let's start with the impacts. Each project that the administration puts forward has a fiscal impact study done on it. It characterizes or evaluates and characterizes any impact to public safety, to education, to infrastructure. Those reports are available either in my office or the clerk's office, and the impact of this 97-unit project is negligible. It doesn't generate very many students for the school district. It doesn't increase the burden on police as a standalone project. Unlike the analysis that we're doing at the hospital site, which has a significant impact based upon its density, and will require certain aspects of an impact fee to be negotiated with the hospital developer. So again, it's looked at on a regular basis for every project. In terms of the benefits, you know, I think we've been over this multiple times. We have a disagreement of a policy perspective and opinion with the administration and previously with council as to whether or not these projects benefit the community. Again, they take properties that are non-performing or underperforming. They maximize the revenue potential of those projects. They take properties that are either abandoned or run down or not producing revenue, and they turn them into properties that the community can be proud to look at. So there are benefits. It also generates jobs through the construction process. It has local source requirements, which require local source hiring. So there are significant benefits to the project and to the construction. Again, you can have a disagreement with the administration and the council over that policy, but it's a policy distinction.
And 405 and 367, the benefit.
405 and what?
367.
Okay, so 367, I believe, has been removed. 405, the council has to vote on. The administration put forward the opportunity for Carewell to come in because Carewell had offered to work with the community, including the education system, but ultimately it's a decision that the council has to make. And there is some other input that's arrived at the council's table this evening that I think will factor into whatever decision they make.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Cheryl Lane?
Good evening, everyone. Cheryl Lane, 482 Laurel Street. Congratulations, everybody. I basically have a couple of questions. I thought we had a noise ordinance, but it seemed like the builders that's on Scotland Road and Beach, they're out there like 6 a.m. before I wake. But they're out there at 6 a.m. And so it's like the leadership in Orange is like, they're not paying you no attention. They have no respect. They're doing what they want to do. The business owners, the landlords, they're doing what they want to do. And you got a new regime, yeah, I got to stick it to them. Laundry land across the street from my home. The 31st of July, make 25 years I've been at my residence. Well, I had to tell him I'm gonna call the state of New Jersey so he can take all the poison ivy off his fence. That the ordinance people, they missed it. I should have said Orange, I'm gonna call it town. And they gonna get you and they gonna find you. Not the state, Orange. But he moved it. But the landlord He doing what he want to do. He got so much poison ivy, it's covering the car. Nobody sees this. All them white cars riding up and down Skyland Road, nobody sees this. Yeah, I need to step up arms. Don't be scared of the state of New Jersey. Be scared of Orange, New Jersey. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Ms. Asia Samuel?
Good evening. 401 Highland Terrace. You guys just pulled the parking stuff from your agenda, so I still want to know what's going on with that. And does the Historical Preservation Committee exist or no? What's going on with that? Let's see. The pilots that you guys are renewing, do you guys check the track record of code enforcement in those buildings, whether they have successfully maintained their building, and how many code violations were reported? Were they reported? What for? What's the plan for the next 5, 10, 20 years down the road with these pilots? Why would we continue to give people pilots if they can't maintain their buildings? That should be something that you guys are checking on before you sign off on a new pilot on an old building. But y'all know y'all not doing that. What's going on with the Highland Avenue train station? We haven't heard anything about that. What's going on with the hospital site? Okay, so here's the thing. What is happening with ADUs? I know that there was supposed to be some legislation between Quantavia and Summers Johnson, but Summers Johnson is gone. So we need to have this legislation. And we need to have this because somebody on Highland Avenue is hosting pool parties, which is blocking Highland Avenue and Central. Like, you can't get past it because they have cars parked on both sides of the road. I don't even go down that street on the weekends now because it's blocked.
Ms. Samuel, do you mean Highland and Center Street?
Center, sorry. Okay. I keep getting those wrong. But yes, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, I haven't heard any new legislation about revenue or any outsource of income to keep our taxes the same because, again, I keep telling y'all, it's 4,000 plus tax homeowners and property owners. You cannot continue to raise the taxes on those people and expect those people to continue to pay taxes that are increasing when the stuff that we get is not increasing. We paying extra on taxes and the stuff that we getting is not extra. And I think, oh, cannabis. We got new people in here, so we want cannabis. We want at least one, because we surrounded by one everywhere else. We want at least one that we can walk to. My time is running out. So, oh, and when will Highland Terrace get repaved? That's the last thing. I got 2 seconds.
So I'll look into the Highland Avenue and Center Street party issue. As far as the ADU goes and the cannabis legislation, that's up to the council and various members of the council and the law department to address. The permit parking ordinance that was pulled wasn't the permit parking ordinance. It was an ordinance dealing with permit parking fines. That was what was pulled.
Oh, okay.
In terms of the Highland Avenue train station, there's been a new dispute with the contractor. That dispute's being resolved and work should continue shortly.
What phase of the work are we in? Are we still in
They're in the renovation stage.
Okay.
They're past the remediation and the demolition stage, and they're in the renovation stage.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
With respect to the hospital, we're continuing to have meetings with the developers to try and work out a financial agreement. We had a meeting today. We have one tomorrow. We've been meeting weekly. Hopefully, we'll have something to bring to the council in short order. But it really depends on both sides coming to an agreement.
Okay.
Was the hospital, the Highland Avenue train station, the parking permits, the ADUs. I think I covered everything.
The pilots and whether or not you guys
Oh, so
check to
in
see
fact,
the maintenance
in
records.
fact, we do.
Oh, you do?
I have one that we're working on now, which is for a very old building. It's an old pilot. There have been some tenant issues in the building, and we had a conference call today, and one last week about trying to resolve those tenant issues before we move forward with an amended pilot agreement. So we do look at code enforcement and tenant issues in big buildings.
Okay, so you said an amended pilot. What would that be?
So it's a low and moderate income building that had a pilot agreement, and they're borrowing money to redo the building. So they're borrowing that money from the New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency, and the New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency requires a pilot that lasts for as long as the income restrictions on the mortgage. So that's what we're looking at.
So as long as this building remains low to moderate income, then they are eligible to receive the pilot if they continue to maintain their building.
That's correct.
So if they don't maintain their building, then what happens?
Then they can be in violation of their pilot. They could also be in violation of their mortgage agreements with the New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance
And
Agency.
then what happens if they're in violation?
It's a long, complicated process.
So, okay, so, okay.
Thank you. Ali Marshall, Rico.
Can I reply to Ms. Samuels briefly?
So you have some knowledge of what I'm talking about when you pass those around, and I'm giving them to you, you can pass it around, because I think you should be aware of what you voted on.
Before you start, ma'am, can I just reply to Ms. Samuels?
Ms. Marshall, you would actually have to give it to the city clerk prior to handing it to the council.
Ms. Marshall, can I just reply to the person just before you? We do have some things in the works in terms of new legislation for some of those old items, so just know that it's on the way.
Ali Marshall.
Okay, just before I get started, I want you to know, since the time has been cut from.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I do apologize, ma'am. Before you begin, I need you to state your name and address for the record.
I was in the process of doing this.
I apologize.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
I just want to acknowledge this first before I get started. Since the time has been cut from 5 minutes to 3 minutes, Mr. Trejo has yielded his time to me, okay? So that means an additional 3 minutes. In the location where I live, which is 440 Central Avenue.
I'm sorry, ma'am, if I can just step in for a minute. Nobody can yield time to you, so you have your 3 minutes.
Okay, so you don't even, okay, so everything have changed. You've taken away the student, the public attention. Okay, but anyway, if you ever get a chance, look at those pictures.
Ma'am, again, I'm going to ask you again to state your name and address.
I did say.
Okay. I didn't hear you because you were going on, so I apologize to you. I'll give you my sincere apologies, ma'am. I did not hear you.
Okay, could you please start the time again, please? Thank you.
I sure will.
Thank you.
Ready now.
Ali Marshall Rico, 440 Central Avenue, Orange, New Jersey. Where I live next door, an employee of Orange picked up the house next door to me, 452 Central Avenue, at the price of $350,000. In my location, there are 3 restaurants, 1 liquor store, 1 store, plus White Castle across the street. Where there's no misunderstanding, at the foot of my steps, I have 3 garbage cans for the people to place their garbage into those cans instead of them throwing them on the floor, throwing them on the ground where I live. So So I've been keeping those, trying to keep the house in front of me clean. Therefore, the city should be paying me. Unfortunately, based upon the city, they don't use the garbage cans, okay? And in order for, I get the liquor cans, I get everything from the 3 stores in White Castle. And I was somewhat shocked when I went in to pay a little bit on my taxes. They told me, they said, August the 1st, you owe $7,000 and 56 sector. I stepped back, I was shocked. I said, what? And I immediately said that I was going to sell. I said, because I thought that, based upon that, city was getting rid of the homeowners. Because if you look at those pictures, you have rats that look like small dogs. You have groundhogs. They have made a home at my house. Dug holes all around. So if you go there, guess what? You may injure yourself. Okay? And when I came up here and I went down to the tax assessor, and he said to me, can I come out there? What day I come out? He said, can I come out there? I said, you can come right now. So he came out there, and the picture that you're looking at, he saw all those pictures, and plus, I have a tile roof and it's leaking. And unfortunately, maybe you still get a chance to look at those pictures. So I want to know, how do you justify?
Your time is up, ma'am.
Okay, just justify what the question that I asked you. Justification, please.
Council President, if I may.
Sure.
Yes.
Councilwoman.
Ms. Marshall, I'm here. Hi. Councilwoman Hilbert, how are you this evening?
Well, when I came to visit you, how I'm doing worse than what I was doing when I came to visit you.
So.
Okay. Also,
Hold on one second, Ms. Marshall, because I'm addressing you now. You've addressed us, now let me address you. I've called you 2 days ago to let you know that I did investigate what your inquiry was in regards to the increase in your taxes for the 3rd quarter. I would like to speak to you offline about that because I don't think your private business should be shared amongst everyone.
I don't mind about anyone hearing it. Please.
Ma'am, I would like to do it separately because
I really don't mind.
under the investigation, the tax assessor discussed your current situation. And it's other things to it that we could speak in private about. But I did do my investigation. You gave me 2 days, and I called you back. So we could speak about it separately, and we could also include the business administrator or the council president if you like that as well. But we as a council, we cannot currently do anything in regards to your tax bill, and neither can the tax assessor. So there needs to be another conversation so that you're aware of what your options are as a homeowner.
My option, as I see right now, the property next to me, he said to me immediately, I heard that you wanted to sell your property. I'm ready to buy it. And I said, Lord Jesus Christ. I said that at the office. Now, how did this person know that I wanted to sell my property? He told me he got that from the city. Okay? So which means
Ms. Marshall,
yes.
You can contact Councilwoman Hilbert, on a separate meeting to discuss this, and hopefully some resolution can get resolved, okay? But we got to move on. Thank you.
I will be writing about this since I can't speak on it. Thank
Louis
you very
Rico
much. And you have a
Trejo.
blessed day.
Thank you. You too. Louis, that's you? Who's Louis?
This is
Okay, so he's
He
not
told me he
speaking?
couldn't speak, and he asked me, could I speak on his behalf? And you're telling me that, because I don't want an ambulance come and have to carry him away, because he said, will you please speak to me? And you told me I could.
Okay. We're gonna move on to Holly Sandich.
Thank you for your consideration.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am from 216 Park Place. My name is Holly Sandage. I sent a letter to the mayor, but it encompasses everything that I wanted to say. So if I may, I'll read it. It says, I am sure you are aware of the tragic fire that devastated the Park Place community on Saturday, July 11. The fire completely destroyed the house next to mine and claimed the lives of 2 people, including someone I had known for several years. The 2 adjoining homes were also damaged. My family and I reside in one of them at 216 Park Place. Although we are trying to recover and remain some sense of normalcy, the fire debris remains beside our home. We continue to see the physical remains of the tragedy, smell lingering smoke, and experience the respiratory and emotional effects of what occurred. The continued presence of the debris makes it extremely difficult for the neighboring families and the surrounding community to begin healing. It is a constant reminder of the lives lost and of the desperate efforts of a mother trying to save her child. For some of us, these sights and smells are contributing to breathing difficulties, emotional distress, and symptoms of post-traumatic stress. We therefore humbly and urgently request that the city expedite the removal of the remaining debris from that property. We respectfully request that you direct the appropriate departments and/or agencies to take whatever steps are necessary to address this serious and immediate concern. Removing the debris would help protect the health and well-being of nearby residents and allow our community to begin recovering from this devastating event. Thank you for your attention to this urgent matter. We would deeply, gratefully appreciate any assistance that you can provide. So basically, I am requesting for the community, when will this debris pass or be removed?
I'll address it first thing in the morning. The other day when I believe someone stopped by my office.
Me.
Okay. I made a phone call immediately to Public Works. We contacted the building official who's responsible for supervising the demolition and the removal. They said it would either be done today or tomorrow. So if it's not done tomorrow, then you can call me and I'll make sure that it gets done.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Gloria Anderson.
Good evening, Gloria Anderson, 300 Oakwood Avenue, Orange, New Jersey. I just have 2 things. I wanted to find out who's in charge of street repair in front of Irving Park, as well as all of the senior citizen buildings that's on Oakwood Avenue, because of the potholes that are there, and it's obvious that eventually someone will get hurt as they fall into the pothole. And I just want to find out who's in charge of fixing that street.
So Oakwood Avenue is the city's responsibility. Central Avenue is the county's responsibility. So if I will have Mr. Mays call you, and I'm sure that the street's already been evaluated and placed on a list for repaving. He'll have to tell you when that is. In the meantime, if there are...
It's been like almost 3 months now.
Okay, in the meantime, if there are potholes that need to be fixed, those will be addressed immediately.
Okay, also, I want to talk about the ordinance 32-2026 for the 23-year tax abatement. I wanted to ask who follow up with each and every building in Orange that is qualified or has a tax abatement, and are they following the rules of the tax abatement? In other words, any repairs or any things that they are obligated to do or that they are supposed to do and they haven't done it, what happens to that abatement?
So the breach has to go uncured for a period of time once notice is provided. So if we know of the problem and it's a violation of the pilot agreement, we give notice to the owner of the property. They have so many months to cure that, it's usually 60 days.
But if they don't do it within the 60 days,
If they don't
then
do
what
it within the
happens?
60 days, then we take further action under the contract.
Also, when, because of the LLCs and all the other business thing, what happens when they transfer that particular building or whatever to another person within that organization and they're still not doing it? What happens?
Well, if it constitutes a change of control under the documents, then they have to come before the council for approval. So if it's not a change of control, then you're just dealing with the same ownership interest, just a different person.
Okay, so therefore, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Anderson, I do have an answer for your question about paving. That was actually allocated in 2025 paving funding source, and it's pending. It's going to be paved soon, Oakwood. Okay.
Helen Andrews.
Good evening, Helen Andrews, 400 Oakwood Avenue in Orange. My question is kind of redundant to the lady that just spoke. Like I said, I'm a resident of 400 Oakwood Avenue. Calling City Hall, leaving messages for Mr. Mays in 2025. Spoke to someone else, then someone gave me his direct phone number. I called, left a message. So a couple of months ago, he did, a couple of months ago, he did call me back, and I had called him before that to ask him about snow removal on Oakwood Avenue, which was horrible. And like the young lady said before me, if I didn't live on Oakwood Avenue, I would never, ever, ever drive on that street. That's just the, how bad the condition is of the street. You know, so he told me at the time that there was no money allocated for street repair, and it would usually take about a year. I told him, well, I've been calling you since 2025, it's now 2026. So he told me that it's a possibility that it will be done in the spring of 2027. And as far as the snow, like going back to the snow removal, nothing was done. The snow was melted. It was never removed. Never removed. I spoke to him directly, and it's been over a year. So, you know, like I said, I told him, I said, apparently you've never been on Oakwood Avenue, because if you been on Oakwood Avenue, or if you lived on Oakwood Avenue, I'm sure that the street will be paved by now. It's horrible, horrible. And there's 3 senior buildings on that street.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Andrews. Ronald Campbell.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ronald Campbell. I'm at 400 Oakwood Avenue. And what I'd like to address is to Councilman Wooten. Councilman Wooten, the question I wanted to ask is, you're over the senior program, am I right? No. You're not? No. Okay. Well, the question I wanted to know is, I don't know who is involved in the senior program here in the city, but it's appalling that we are treated like trash. And I feel very insulted, I guess, I don't know. When I called to City Hall, and I did recently, and Mr. Montague told me that your telephone number was a personal number. Now your number that was on the website is no longer there. But he said, she doesn't give out. I said, I don't want her personal telephone number. This is what Mr. Montague told me. So I called you, Mr. Ross. I got no answer from you. I got nothing from you, Mr. Montague, and I got nothing from you, Mr. Wooten. I assumed that he said he was going to relay the information to you, and I don't know whether that was rectified or not. So here we go. What are we going to do about it?
What was the issue?
The issue was I was trying to ask a simple question that nobody would give me about things that are going on with the seniors. And it was like you said to me that there's quite a few things coming. I said, well, I just want to know one question. The only one question I wanted to know was about the mayor's picnic. Now, how hard was that? That was not hard. It was easy. But it seemed like it's like you're pulling teeth. And then when it's time for voting, who do you look at? Seniors. I rest my case.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell.
Council President, so sir, I'm sorry that you've seen information on the website that goes back pre-2016. I haven't been in that position since then. I give my telephone number out to everyone, so my telephone number is no big secret. If you, and I see you, I see you. Not I see you like I see you. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, let me explain that, because younger people use it in a different light. So if I can step out in the hall right now, I'll give you my telephone number. All right, you're welcome.
Council President, can we also give him the appropriate number for the older adults? Yeah, department. That way he knows exactly where to go and share the information.
Alma Richardson. Ms. Richardson?
She don't hear you? Yes, she is.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Alma Richardson, and I live at 300 Oakwood Avenue, Orange, New Jersey. And my question is, I have a daughter that rides a scooter. And since y'all built the senior building in the park, that little driveway, y'all left a big hole. Okay? And not only am I afraid of her falling off her scooter, it was about 2 months ago, a gentleman, he tripped and fell. The thing is uneven. And like y'all heard a couple of people around Oakwood Avenue, we have 3 senior buildings on Oakwood Avenue. The traffic is terrible. Now on Sunday mornings, St. Matthews done made it a 2-way parking, the only side. Now, if someone got sick or we had a fire on Oakwood Avenue, where is the fire truck gonna get through? How is the fire truck gonna get through? Somebody gonna get hurt or die. So at least we have policemen to come out there and give tickets. People can't park overnight. But on Sunday morning, you can't get a park because people, I know that this church in St. Matthew's got a big parking lot, but they're taking up all the streets too. So I would like for someone to look at that, please. Okay?
Duly noted. Thank you.
Thank you and be blessed.
You too. Duwad Mohammed? Did I say your name correctly? If not, Dawood. I apologize.
This is okay. Basically, the issues I wanted to speak to have been spoken about. And I'm at 400 Oakwood Avenue, along with some of the other speakers. And it's appalling that seniors are treated the way they are in that area. I also wanted to address an issue with Central Avenue, but since that does not fall within the preview of Orange, it goes to the county, he said. I'm going to bypass.
Yeah, what is the issue?
The issue is everything that these people have brought forth today is not being addressed. And I mean, I've been in the area for 5 years, and these same conditions still exist. So, when? I'm like somebody else. When? And that's all I have to say,
Thank you. Duly noted. Quali Campbell?
Quayle Campbell, 55 Randolph. So I came to talk about my beloved Metcalf Park. However, having listened to a lot of those who came before me, I would be remiss to say that our city has a huge issue. And as we have this master plan, right, to bring new buildings on board that look great and in some instances that appear to have shiny bells and whistles, it seems like we have old buildings and old infrastructure that have some dire problems, right? And so I believe we're scheduled to upgrade our master plan in 2018. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And so I'm just wondering if we're going to look at our old buildings as well as plan for new buildings. And so in that vein, I wonder about our code enforcement. I know we lost Mr. Calfani, I don't remember his last name. Did we get a new code enforcement director? And so I wait to hear about that. And so about Metcalf Park, I'd like to know, there's 3 resolutions listed regarding Metcalf Park. I struggle to understand what's happening here. I want to make assumptions, but I'm not sure if that's valid. I think it's about the dog park. And so there was a need to rescope the project due to cost. And so I just want to clarify if that's the case. So B.A. Hardwick, I'm hoping you can help me with that. We were also told about a playground. I don't see anything listed in regards to that, so is that coming later on? And then also the PFAS resolution. So there's a need for our community to understand the full scope of that project. It's trickled onto agendas here and there, and there's a lot of questions about the timelines associated with that. And so I'm hoping, if not tonight, can we do a separate community meeting where we kind of cover what that's about, what it will look like, when can we expect this building, and also to deal with the issues that we address every day, and that's the noise and the gas emissions. That's all I have. Thanks.
Ms. Campbell, before you go, so I had requested that we pull a number of those items for further discussion in this council meeting about Metcalf Park to answer some of those questions that you put forward. Okay. I too want to see a plan, and I want to get some clarity on what we're spending that nearly $1.6 million on. In addition to that, we can follow up later about a community meeting for PFAS.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. Adele Perdue.
I'm Adele Perdue, 346 Hayward Street, Orange. I've been a resident of Orange since 1959.
You want to pull the mic down?
Speak up a little.
There you go.
I've been a resident since 1959. I live on Hayward Street in Orange. There's only 2 homes there. My neighbor's home has recently been purchased, and I understand it's been purchased by someone who owns a tree company, and he thinks he's going to turn it into a parking lot. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. He's torn down the trees. He says he wants to be a good neighbor, but how does that impact my house? Is that going to bring down the value of my house? Because it's zoned R3, but he's moving along. Trees have been cut down, which is good, but this is making me really nervous. I've spent so much money trying to fix my house in the last 5 years. For somebody to come along and do something like this and the value of my home go down, it's driving me, it's upsetting. Also, in Doddtown, which is where I live, we need speed bumps. We have for a long time. People speed around there, the trucks speed around there, and I lost my car. 2 of my neighbors across the street have lost their cars from people speeding around the corner, tearing up somebody's car. Even one of my neighbors succumbed to his injuries when he was hit years ago. We need speed bumps. The streets, they cave in. They've been doing it for a long time, and they've just been patchworking. Carroll Street, Hayward Street, Burnside, patchwork. They need to do the streets.
Can you state your address again one time?
So how does this affect my home, the value of my home, with this guy trying to do what he's trying to do?
You say that there's commercial activity happening on an R3 zone?
Yes.
Can you
He
describe
has.
that?
Yes. It's a Navarro tree service, and there's a lot in between my home and the home that he purchased, and he has taken the trees down. His plan, he said, is to put gravel down. He wants to park his trucks there. We have so much problems with cars, you know, and he's like, oh, I'll be gone all day long. I don't care about that. This is a residential area.
Hayward.
Hayward.
Okay, we were just
Hayward.
there last night.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about in terms of the road condition. I didn't recognize that particular activity happening, but this is a problem that happens all throughout our city.
But I see speed bumps throughout the city.
I don't mean the speed bumps. I'm just talking about the commercial activity happening in a residential zone.
Mhm.
There are laws on the books for this, and what I
Mhm.
would do, I would suggest you just make a code enforcement complaint.
I did.
You did?
Yep.
Okay. And then follow up with it with any one of us in a formal attitude. That way we know the address involved, and that should be pretty easy to take care of.
All right.
As per speeding is a problem throughout this entire city.
I know.
Okay. I see it everywhere. I've seen people's cars get smashed in front of single-family homes.
Mine? My retirement car was killed in front of my house.
And that's unacceptable. And we need to come up with a better plan to do this across our city, to slow traffic down. Speed bumps are not the only option. People think that that's the only option. There are other ways that we can calm down traffic, and I plan on putting some of that forth in future council meetings.
They also use.
Thank you, Ms. Perdue.
Okay.
Your time is up.
All right.
Ernestine.
I'm Ernestine Coleman. I live at 265 Sonata Street in Orange. And my concern is a significant increase in the taxes for the third quarter. I understand that you guys got a raise and everything, but my problem is that do you have any type of business plans where you can bring business into the city instead of, you know, just increasing the homeowners' taxes? Because, you know, we can't continue to, you know, just do this. And I know that you have a lot of apartment buildings going up. I don't know what the purpose, I don't know how you're gonna manage that, and I don't know how far you looked in the future as far as putting that many apartment
Excuse me,
buildings.
I'm sorry, I can't really hear you because the conversations that are going on in the audience. I can't really hear you because of the conversations that are, you know, going on in the audience. And I just want to be able to
Oh, okay.
hear you.
I don't, well, I was just saying, you know, I don't know whether you have any long insight into that, but do you have any plans to put up co-ops or something like that, you know, where that would be a tax base to help out the homeowners instead of, you know, just putting up rental units, you know, because for one thing, I understand that these rental units have tax abatements that's going on for years, and I don't think that you're going to really find that many people to rent all of these units, as many as you're putting up in the small area. Orange is only about 2 square miles, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I mean, you're putting up more people than you have even that you can maintain, it looked like to me. If you could get these people to come in, and I don't think they will ever come personally. Also, I wanted to ask about the library and the old YMCA. Do y'all have any plans for that, and how's everything going with that? I know you've been working on it.
So I'm going to defer to the business administrator because the library is a separate entity from the city, so he would probably know more so.
He's not here? You said he's not here?
No, I'm right here.
He's right
Answer
there.
your question.
He's right there.
So the library has been undergoing some significant improvements. They've renovated interior spaces. They are getting ready to do the bathrooms. They power washed the entire exterior of the building. They redid the floors. They've restored the tile in the front vestibule. So they've made significant strides in the last 2 years under the new library board to make improvements to the building and to do some maintenance that hadn't been done for years. They'll be coming before the council to do a presentation on exactly what it is that they've done and what their plans going forward are. In terms of the old YWCA and the rec center, there is ongoing negotiations with 2 entities who would enter into a public-private partnership with the city to develop those sites. One of those discussions has been ongoing for quite some time. The other discussion is new and only started within the last month. At some point within the near future, we'll make a decision between those 2 entities and make a recommendation to the council to move forward.
And will you be will you be with these builders that you have coming in, you know, who are building these structures? Do you have any ownership possibilities there? Anything?
So the master plan has as one of its goals increased ownership. We've had negotiations with several of the potential developers who have come to us about doing apartments, about doing condominiums, and those discussions are ongoing.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to close citizens' comments?
Move, Wooten.
Motion to close citizens' comments was made by Councilwoman Wooten, second by Councilwoman Ogburn. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Citizens' comments is closed.
Come on, move the agenda.
Council comments.
Council comments. I'm gonna go first today. To you, the business administrator, could you please give me an update on the installation of the left turn signs that I asked for on Scotland Road?
So the signs have not come in yet. As soon as they do, they'll be installed.
What about the protective barriers on Main Street in front of Dunkin' Donuts?
I have to check with Mr. Mays.
Okay.
That's something that we have to get approval from the county for because that's on the county portion of the road.
Okay. I would also like to remind all council members who have not already done so to please submit your committee preferences to the municipal clerk's office by the end of this week, so committee assignments can be finalized. Regarding the parking utility, I am pleased to announce that the members of our newly created parking utility were officially sworn in on Monday, August the 3rd, and are currently completing their training with the Orange Police Department. I am looking forward to seeing this program become operational. This initiative will help restore consistency, fairness, and accountability in enforcing our parking rules and regulations throughout the city. And I believe it will greatly improve parking management for our residents and visitors. The Junior Public Safety Academy. I also want to recognize the outstanding work being done through our Junior Public Safety Academy. The academy began on July 13th and concludes on this Friday, August the 7th. If your schedule permits, the graduation celebration will be held at 2 p.m. at the Monty Irvin Orange Park Community Center. I encourage everyone to attend and help celebrate these young participants for their hard work and commitment. I hope everyone have been enjoying their summer. Despite the extreme heat, heavy rain, flooding, and high winds we experienced in our city. Our city has remained active and full of positive activities for our residents. Our parks continue to operate at full capacity with daily programming. Summer camps are in full swing. We have hosted tennis clinics, baseball, basketball, health fairs, movies in the park, Caribbean and jazz events at Monty Irvin Park, and more. Last night's National Night Out was an outstanding success with tremendous community participation. Coming up tomorrow, August 6th, is our senior picnic. This Saturday, August 8th, is the Orange Caribbean Festival at Monty Irvin Park. There is truly something for everyone this summer, and I thank everyone who has worked so hard to make these events possible. I am also proud to announce that the 20 Orange children that Councilman Weldon Montague and I sponsored to attend a week of overnight camp have returned home safely. By all accounts, they had an incredible experience, made lasting memories, and many were able to enjoy opportunities they otherwise might never have experienced. I invited them to attend one of our upcoming council meetings so they can personally share their experiences with the council and with the community. Finally, I want to again acknowledge the tragic fire on Park Place. Our hearts remain with the families who lost loved ones and with those who was displaced from their homes. At the same time, I want to express my sincere appreciation to everyone who responded. The Orange Fire Department, the Orange Police Department, OEM personnel, our EMS teams, and the many neighboring fire departments that came out to assist, demonstrated what public service is truly about. Also want to thank our residents, community organizations, churches, volunteers, and neighboring communities who stepped forward to help those affected. Moments like these remind us that while tragedy may strike unexpectedly, compassion, generosity, and teamwork are what define our community. To everyone who answered the call and helped our neighbors during this difficult time, thank you. Councilwoman Ogborn.
Good evening. I had the opportunity to go to Ropes Park. Thank you. So I had the opportunity to go over to Ropes Park. And it is a great park, but the residents were saying that the water was only on for 4 times this year. When I was there was a lifeguard there, and I'm wondering, is it because there is no lifeguard that the water was not turned on? speaking with the parents that were there, that lived directly across the street.
Are you talking about the spray park?
Yes, that's Folks Park, yes.
I'll find out.
Okay. Last year, they said that they were getting breakfast and lunch. They were able to have someone come in and give breakfast and lunch to the children. That didn't happen this year. I don't understand if there's probably was a budget cut or something that didn't allow them or allot them to get the breakfast and lunch.
I have to check. My understanding was that that was still one of the sites that we did summer food service at, but it may
Yeah.
have been cut because of numbers from last year.
Okay, all right.
If the numbers don't reach a certain level, then we move the program to a nearby facility.
Okay, understood. I also wanted to cover with you regarding apartment buildings. Had a resident reach out to me. I think it's on Main Street. There is apartment buildings that don't have dumpsters. So these big apartment buildings that just have garbage cans with no lids, they're having a rat infestation with the homeowners, and I want to know what we can do in terms of, or do we have anything on the books that require these big apartment buildings to make sure that they have dumpsters?
We do. We did a garbage ordinance 2 years ago, changing all of the rules and regulations for apartment buildings, for commercial businesses, and for residential homes. So if you give me the addresses,
Okay.
I'll send code enforcement.
Thank you. One more thing. I met with some residents over at 61 Cleveland. I wanted to discuss that with you. This management company or landlord has removed some of the residents to other apartments under the guise of they needed to move these residents to renovate the apartments. They had some issues with the apartments in terms of electric. And when they moved these clients or residents, they never replaced them back into the apartment.
They never returned them?
They never returned them. They've gone up on their rent significantly, and I wanted to know what we can do in terms of that. I'm almost certain it's probably going out throughout some places in Orange, but this one right here I wanted to address because I did meet with the residents of the building. It's probably about 50 residents. 50 residents in the building, and by looks, it doesn't look up to code. I'm hoping that we can. I did call the fire because one of the residents was this elder, and the elevator was down for about a couple of days, so she couldn't come down to get her medication. So I was able to call one of call the fire department to have them go and see what was going on. I just didn't get no follow-up.
Okay.
That was it. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Councilman James Wood.
Thank you. Good evening, Council President and my fellow council members and members of the administration, and to everyone joining here this evening. As your South Ward Councilman, I wanted to take a few minutes to update everyone on some of the work that's been happening since I took office a short time ago. From the beginning, I promised that my approach to public service would be centered in transparency and accessibility and practical solutions. While it's only been a short time, I've already been laying the foundation for more connected and responsive local government. One of my priorities has been making government information accessible for residents. Too often, valuable information exists, but it's too hard to find. To help address this, I've developed a couple of public-facing digital tools. Now, these are tools that I've created. They've not been sanctioned by our city, but I've been working with our city to get these things published on our city's website. Right now, they exist on my personal website. Some of these dashboards help us understand legislative activity. So it's basically just taking everything that's published on the council website and making it visual. To better understand our municipal budget, I published this a good while ago. But my belief is simple, that informed residents make stronger communities. It also helps us to kind of reduce some of the questions that happen at public comment while we're here. When I was able to answer that question very quickly about what streets are being paved, like Oakwood Terrace, or Oakwood Avenue, that's on the dashboard that I created. It's on jw40.com. You can see an interactive map that came from all the information that I got from DPW. So this isn't opinion or whatever, it's just visualized on a map. I've been working closely with residents over quality of life issues throughout the South Ward. We've had some productive conversations regarding, again, those paving schedules and sidewalk conditions. There's also been a long-standing concern about missing street trees. We're going to be talking about that today in particular on some of the legislation that's being put forth. Trees are really important. It's not just aesthetics. We're reducing our urban heat island effect and reducing stormwater runoff by having foliage, preserving these street trees, and in the surrounding areas. When we pave our streets, we also have to make sure that we're not cutting down trees unnecessarily, ensuring that we have a thoughtful long-term strategy for our streetscapes. Housing affordability continues to be one of the defining challenges of our city. Many of the people who talk today at public comments are complaining about issues of cost. I'm actively drafting legislation that would responsibly allow for ADUs. I've been in conversation with my fellow council members and will continue to do so we can come forth with a solution that everyone can agree on, and also taking some of the suggestions from the now closed ADU committee. My goal is to create opportunities for seniors to age in place, to provide families with flexibility, and increased housing options without changing the character of our community. Any proposal that I introduce would also be thoughtful with safeguards regarding parking. Neighborhood compatibility is good policy, but we have to have a balance with opportunity and responsibility. We can't make our problems worse by introducing these ADUs, and I think that's what's been holding it up. I look forward to introducing that soon. I'm also excited about the conversations about workforce development. I've been working with our Board of Education and the likes to talk about expanding opportunities for my work, which is construction, and bringing construction trades to our local city in sort of a public-private partnership. I believe Orange can become a model for career-focused education and public-private partnerships. I want everyone to know that my office remains open and accessible, and if you have an idea or a concern or simply need help navigating our city government, I encourage you to reach out. Every conversation helps me understand our community's needs and better represent the people who elected me. Finally, I want to close by saying I care deeply about Orange, and sometimes we might disagree on how we get there, but everybody's ideas are important. Keep bringing them forth, and I hope to make decisions on facts and data in the best interest of our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Ward. Councilwoman Wooten.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
There's been a lot going on in the city of Orange Township recently, and going back to the fire, and I went out and spoke to this young lady right here, told her that I totally understand and gave her my condolences, but also let her know that the administration, the fire department, the business administrator, and the mayor and I also met with the Salvation Army, and he gave us a rundown on how exactly that program works. So it doesn't really work the way that you think it might work as far as food vouchers and anything. He said he would be happy to speak to the residents if we wanted to put something together. So that's in the hopper. Also have sent pictures as I drive around the town of the apartment buildings who are not up to code. The BA is shaking his head because he knows he gets my pictures of the trash bags being on the street, not in the cans. So that's another thing that we're working on. I think the mayor said he's going to do a blast with that, regarding that. And regarding rodents and rats and trash, I also asked about the section on Scotland Road that was being demoed, and asked if I could see the demo permit where they actually baited prior to taking the building down, because sometimes people they are concerned. They say that rats come out of the buildings, and if they don't bait, so it's a ongoing thing. Also want to really say thank you to the people that could possibly give money to our town who reached out to us during that fire. Like, I got calls and text messages from the governor's office, the congresswoman called, our assembly people, the state senator, Chairman Jones and his family, and the list just keeps going on and on and on to let us know that they were praying for us and with us, and they were grieving with us. But those people are people that we can go to in times of need when we need money. And with that being said, met with the senator's office about looking at the fines that we charge for fire hydrants when people park in front of fire hydrants. I think the sign is about $50. The ticket. Want to increase that, so we're getting together research for that, like how many tickets have been given. Has there ever been a fire in Orange when the fire hydrant was blocked and somebody lost life or they didn't lose life? So I'm trying to get her to introduce that to the state so it could be state law, this amount and this increase. Also, anybody that knows me, they know I've been talking about setbacks forever, and I don't like the setbacks. And I didn't get my ordinance put together before the meeting, but there's going to be an ordinance that's going to have to go to the planning board. It's going to get to 35 days, and it's going to talk about the setbacks. I don't like, and a lot of my colleagues, we don't like seeing zero setbacks. Don't want to see a piece of property be built right there on my property line. So most of it is written. I'll share it with my new council colleagues, if you like, or anybody else who wants to see this. I hope this is something that we can do for, pending buildings, especially scattered sites. Those type things. That's something that's going on. The ADUs, we have something in the law department, so maybe we need to sit down and look at what each one of us have and put the whole thing together. And introduce data centers and not having data centers, because I've watched documentaries on data centers. I see the things that they can do to a community, such as contaminating your water. They're loud, they're noisy, and they can also cause contamination to the soil. They can make our PSE&G bills go up, and Lord knows I can't take another hike with PSE&G. I'll be living with candles. But anyway, the data centers, they do a lot of bad stuff in the community. So I'm trying to get someone to come back and do a presentation to everyone about data centers. Some people may like them. I don't know. I've watched several documentaries, read about them, and they may be good because they will bring in revenue for the city, but it's to what cost. Yeah. Like the damage can be irreplaceable.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see. And we gave the key to the city last Sunday to Dougie F. Douglas Ford. And if you were like me, I'm of a certain generation, so I did not know who Dougie F. was, read up on him. He's a Grammy Award songwriter. He was born and raised in the East Ward, where Carrie and I live, in the city of Orange Township. Rising star, very just nice. Weldon can speak to it, like doesn't have a big head, so mannerable, and just very nice. Very smart, very intelligent, loves the city of Orange Township. And when I spoke Sunday, I talked about the people who give to us silently, right? You don't see a big Dougie F sign saying that he's giving whatever he's giving, right? But he might get 5,000 book bags. Or he might go to Snipes store on Main Street and tell, I think I've done it with Weldon before, hey, call as many kids as you can. Tell them to come down here. It's almost time for school to start. I'm going to buy sneakers for every kid, right? Purchase groceries for people. Paid rent for people. So he does the things behind the scenes. But he is a great young man. I was so honored and so proud to be a part of that. And I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wooten. Councilman Curry Coley.
Hey, Council President, I don't have a whole lot. I just want to thank the East Ward folks from Oakwood Avenue for coming out. in this bad weather, expressing your issues and your concerns. The BA heard you loud and clear, and we're going to do everything humanly possible to address those issues, to continue to improve your quality of life. And like my councilwoman said a few weeks ago, when that fire on Park Place took place, I was heartbroken. Just imagine what that family went through, and is still going through. Just waking up one day and you pretty much has lost everything. And that took me back to early on in my police career here in Orange. It was a horrible, horrible fire on, I believe it was Hillside Avenue. I want to say, I think 9 family members perished in that fire. And that was a bad one. And I just feel bad. I just feel bad. But with that being said, my church, Bethel Baptist Church, 229 Wallace Street, we have a outreach a day. We do it every year. It's called Crowd Community Rejuvenation. We have an assortment of gently used clothing items, food, and it's just a good time. Where we just try and engage the community and have them come out and and take advantage of some of the resources and things that we have in place at our church. We are just my church is 108 years old. Our pastor resigned a year and a half ago. I'm on the pastoral search committee. We're in the process of bringing in a new pastor, but our church is still thriving and moving in the right direction. And with that being said, I just want to stop right there. Colgate Park Pool, Mr. BA. From time to time, when we have bad rainstorms, the pool, maybe because of the way that it's designed and situated, I guess the storm water or debris kind of runs into the pool, and I don't know how we can address and correct that. We spend a lot of money in our parks, and that's something that I don't think that we kind of looked at, on how can we correct that, from happening.
Well,
And
we'll look at it, but it's a question of positioning of the pool along with the trees and the drainage. And what happens is, in the wind and in the heavy rains, the stormwater flood and the tree debris gets into the pool. We have to shut it down, clean it, shock the water, and start it up again. And we've had to do that, as you know, several times.
Several times, yes. Yes.
This year?
Yes.
All right. That's all I have. Thank you very much, Mr. Pierre.
Thank you, Councilman. Yep. Councilwoman Quantavia Hilbert.
Thank you, Council President, and good evening to my colleagues, members of the public, and the administration. Firstly, I would like to express my condolences again to all the fire victims in the East Ward and Park Place, and I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing what's been happening in the community. We have a lot of residents who are in the audience now who have been assisting with the recovery process for a lot of the families collecting goods. I've also seen an amazing thing from the school district when they were also setting up a drive to collect items for the family when they're able to find a new home, and for the victims who will be moving back into their homes once the repairs have been concluded. To move past that, my next thing I would like to reflect on is National Night Out, which was last night. It was a joy to celebrate with our police officers, firefighters, and first responders. These are men and women who deserve our respect and our gratitude for their continued commitment to building our community. And I think it was lovely to see that a lot of people came out in support of community. Public safety is about showing up in the good times and the bad times, and it's great for our officers and our first responders to see that we support them in the work that they're doing when they're away from their homes and their families. Also, I would like to take the time to address a few items that is on the agenda and not on the agenda for my council colleagues to consider. I am requesting that our newly elected council president look into reestablishing a new ad hoc committee to address the ADUs. There was a committee previously, if you recall, for the ADU formation, regulations formation, and also in regards to short-term rentals. These were ordinances that I had written previously, and they were not accepted onto this agenda. It was recommended that I work with another colleague who is no longer here. So if there's something currently with the law department, I think it's best that we allow the council members who do have experience and do have some form of legislation be able to merge and review this policy before it's actually shared with the community. I also want to express that due to the complaints from the Highland Avenue parties, if we already had short-term rental policies in place, that would have helped not only our constituents understand and work within the guidelines, but it would have also helped our law enforcement as well in order for them to know how to react or respond in a situation that poses public safety concerns or violations. I also want to state that short-term rental legislation and ADU, which is accessory dwelling units, for those who do not know, that is when you're able to build an additional property in the back of your home and you can use it for yourself, or you could use it for affordable housing if you decide to rent it to somebody else. It's almost kind of similar to like a mom and pop suite, right? So this will give homeowners the capacity to generate revenue on their own. And both of these models will help generate more revenue in our community. If somebody is renting like Airbnbs or Verbals or whatever that is in that community, there's a way that we can construct this policy to bring back money to us. So again, I just asked the council president to consider that. This is stuff that I've been focused on for the past 2 or 3 years, and this is money that we could have been voting on today to inject into our current budget to help lower the taxes for our constituents. I also want to move a little forward and talk about some resolutions here. Resolution 405-2026. I am not in favor of this resolution. I believe that the current agreement that we have with University Hospital is a lifeline. The services that they give to the people of Orange, it's been nothing but excellent, compassionate, time sensitive, and shows a lot of professionalism that the University Hospital staff has been able to render to us. They are a critical partner, and I don't believe that we should waver in who we decide to do business with when it comes to public health and the future of our families. So I would ask my colleagues to vote no on this because I cannot vote in good conscience on this policy. On this resolution. For resolution 381-2026, my concerns are regards to this non-open professional service agreement with Greater Essex Counseling. I am familiar with this organization. They already have an operating agreement with us to give services in our community. I would like to see us put together something where we conduct competitive bidding processes when we get these type of grants. Greater Essex is located in Newark. they get top of the notch grant funding. They get stuff directly from the county and other municipalities. We have local nonprofits that offer these services. Just to name one off the top, like RAIN and other places that do focus directly with the youth population. And I think we should give them an opportunity, especially if they're local in Orange. We should be giving those type of grant and funding opportunities to them first. Resolution 392-2026. I believe this is a direct, which one is, okay. This is actually a direct result of the collaboration between myself and the administration over the past couple of years. Actually, during my first year elected as councilwoman back in 2022 and 2023, I personally visited and surveyed all the West Ward streets and sidewalks. And thank you to our BA and Director Marty Mays, we were able to apply and receive the grant back in 2023 to repair some of these roads. Now, although the roads have not been completed, but this resolution is stating that we have selected and we have awarded the contract to a construction company, and I'm very pleased to say that pretty soon we will see the repavement of those streets for the West Ward. So if you have the packet in front of you, you can see it. Joyce Street, which is by U-Haul, we all know how bumpy that is, going under the underpass. Frankfurt Street, Bell Street, a lot of the Jefferson, parts of Jefferson, going on that part towards the valley and whatnot. So you're going to see some improvements moving forward, and I'm just really excited to announce that, you know, that we're finally here and we can finally see some more improvements. I also want to mention some upcoming events. On August 22nd, the West Ward will be hosting its quarterly cleanup. For those who are interested in getting involved, we'll also be offering recycling cans and leaf bags for anyone who's interested. If you want to get ahead of the game before, you know, the fall time comes around and get your items now. We'll be starting at 9:30 on Central Avenue at the Upper Field House. And yes, we do welcome students. Come get these early volunteer hours. Also, on August 27th, St. Matthew Church will be hosting a free inspections with the DMV. So check your car registration, check everything, okay? This is the time. You don't want to get caught out there riding dirty. You will get a ticket. They are offering free inspections starting at 8:30 to 1 p.m. Also on August 27th, around 6 p.m. here in the council chambers, I will be hosting a committee open house. What's a committee open house? I'll tell you. It's brand new. This is going to be an open house focused on civic engagement with you all, the residents, the constituents. As you heard earlier, we had people that were appointed to a zoning board and other boards that haven't even been interviewed. We haven't even seen their resumes. We don't even know what their faces look like. This open house will be open and fair, and it will be open to all to come and express your interests and what committees or boards you would like to serve on. You will also be able to speak to people who have served in the past or currently serve in these positions, and they could give you more information and facts and, you know, how long your term is going to be and what's included. Now, yes, majority of these boards are volunteer, so that means there is no pay. But if you really want to have a say in what's happening in your community, there's two things you can do: vote and join a committee. All right? So a lot of the things you all see that's happening, you're complaining about trash, you're complaining about pickup, you're complaining about rodents. That sounds like a public works committee. You know, you want to know what's happening with the development? That's zoning board, planning board. Historic preservation committee, how can you get money to fix your house? How can we preserve some stuff in the area? These are the opportunities that are put before you by the municipality to get involved, express your opinion, and bring some more people along so we could do this as a community. All right, in closing, again, I want to thank you for the time, and I also want to express that I would like to see the resolution to bring the time for citizens' comment back to 5 minutes. The residents should be able to express their concerns in a timely fashion. Sometimes it's somebody's first time, they might get a little flustered, they might get a little turned around, and that I think is also, it gives them enough time to prepare and get great feedback from us and the administration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Montague.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to be brief because a lot of my colleagues covered a lot. First of all, I want to congratulate my two new council members, Lynn Osborne and James Ward. Congratulations. I'm glad you're with us. And to our group out here, our citizens, we hear your issues. We will be addressing them. One thing that I know for certain, all of our council members, colleagues, have a love for Orange, New Jersey. We're going to work together to make a better Orange, New Jersey. Councilwoman Wooten, Dougie F. has 2 Grammys. Yep, 2 Grammys. Longtime Orange person, so proud of him. So, last night, our community came together for another incredible national night out. And it was truly a celebration of unity, safety, and neighborhood pride. It was wonderful to see residents, community organizations, first responders, elected officials, local partners enjoying an evening filled with fellowship, fun, and meaningful connections. Events like this strengthen the bond between our community and those who work every day to keep a safe Orange thriving. BA, question. When does the parking utility officially start? When do they start working?
The enforcement officers were sworn in yesterday.
Okay.
They're undergoing training. They underwent training today and tomorrow, and they'll be writing tickets Friday.
Okay.
How many officers are sworn in?
3. 4.
Yeah, it's 4, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I said 3 because one of them's not really an officer. He just was sworn in so that he can fill in occasionally.
Okay. So that's exciting. We needed to create a new revenue stream in our city. And so I'm very proud of that. Also, I think I heard the updates, but can you give us a little more on the recreation center? How close? Because it's been a while. We're not even close?
I'm not going to speculate on how close.
No?
The negotiations, as I've mentioned before, are extremely complicated. I'm dealing with 2 separate groups at one time. It could be a month, it could be several months.
Okay. I just wanted to update. Also, some progress on the Orange Memorial site? Let's talk.
Same. We're meeting regularly to hammer out a financial agreement. We've had some differences in terms of our analysis and our negotiating positions. We're making progress. We have another meeting tomorrow. We had a meeting today. If we don't wrap things up tomorrow, we'll have another meeting next week. We'll keep at it until we get an agreement.
Okay. And last thing, I see a banner is out there with Joyce Carnegie Park.
Correct.
I see that banner. What are we doing there? When are we going to start?
So we finalized the landscape architecture plan, the layout for the park. It will probably commence construction sometime in the fall.
Okay.
Maybe sooner. It depends on a couple of remaining issues.
Okay.
We made some changes to the plans to finalize them that made us have to go back out to scope for some of the costs.
I mean, generally, what's going to be in that park? Benches?
It's a passive park.
Passive park.
It's
Just
some
sit
benches,
and think,
a lot of
yeah.
landscaping, and the memorials.
Okay.
Pardon?
Greenery.
Yes, there's a
Yes.
rain garden, etc.
Nice. Thank you so much. I defer.
Thank you, Councilman. Madam Clerk, move the agenda.
Thank you. Ordinance On second reading and public hearing, there are none. Ordinances on introduction and first reading. Before we begin with the legislation, I want to again read the items that are being pulled or pulled for a second vote. That's the first thing, but before that, we'll hear from our attorney about resolutions for the zoning board appointments.
Yes, so thank you. I've had an opportunity to review our code, specifically under Part 1 of the code titled Administrative Legislation, specifically Section 4-8, which speaks about the powers and relations with the administrative branch, specifically Section, again, 4-8E. Upon the request of the mayor, the council shall receive and consider in executive session any nomination for appointment requiring council advice and consent. Candidates shall be formally nominated at any regular meeting and may be confirmed or rejected at the same meeting, but in any case, no longer than the next regular meeting. Multiple appointments to any body shall be confirmed individually. So the way I interpret that and the way I read that is that nominations do come forward by the city council. Interviews do take place in an executive session, and then a vote thereafter is done by the governing body. So the executive session can take place at the same meeting where the nominations are put forth before the governing body. It can also take place at a separate meeting, and then a resolution with the names is then taken up during regular session. So
we can
the end
postpone.
result is, yes, interviews do take place in executive session.
Okay, so we should postpone these three resolutions.
should.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman.
so through you to City Attorney Montalis, so what do we do with people who were appointed prior?
I'm not, there's nothing that can be done at this point. I think you move forward with what the, with what we have
Okay.
before the body at present.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Excuse me. So ordinances being postponed is 28-2026. 29-2026 was pulled. Resolutions, then now on to resolutions. I'm going to yield to the BA to speak to the two amended resolutions, 384-2026 and 406-2026.
384-2026 corrected in the last now therefore clause. We removed the typographical error of Ibn construction that was taken out. And on 406, we clarified the differential between the 292-577 and the 392-577 in the third whereas clause, where we added the amount of the adjustment for the billing rate adjustment for 2026.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now, we will go to ordinance 28-2026, an ordinance amending the supplementing chapter 210-17.3 definitions in section 17.4 entitled Data Centers Prohibited to prohibit the establishment, construction, expansion, or operation of data centers in all zoning districts within the township, sponsored by Council Member at Large Adrian Wooten. The recommendation is to postpone. Is there a motion to postpone?
Motion to postpone.
Second, Hilbert.
Motion to postpone was made by Council Vice President Montague III, second by Councilwoman Hilbert. On the motion, roll call. Councilman Coley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn.
Yes.
Councilman Ward III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
That's 7 yeas. This has been postponed to the September the 1st meeting. Ordinance 30-2026, capital ordinance appropriating $30,000 from capital improvement fund of the parking utility to pay for the acquisition of various equipment for parking utility of the city of Orange Township in the county of Essex, state of New Jersey. Is there a motion?
Motion Coley.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Coley, second by Councilwoman Ogburn. On the motion, roll call. Councilman Coley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert?
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogburn?
Yes.
Councilman Ward III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Ross?
Yes.
That's 7 yeas. This has been approved. Final reading is September the 1st, 2026. Ordinance 31-2026, an ordinance of the City of Orange Township, County of Essex, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapters 88 and 200 of the Code of the City of Orange Township to update permit parking fees requirements and to establish a residential on-street overnight and commuter parking permit program. Is there a motion?
Motion Ross.
Is there a second?
Second, Montague.
Motion by Council President Ross, second by Council Vice President Montague III. On the motion, roll call.
On the motion. Through you, Council President, to all my colleagues, I do want to state that I did notice the updates that the administration took into consideration after much deliberation, emails, and public comments. And to pinpoint exactly what I'm talking about, I love the designation of the commuter areas around the train station, how it impacts the West Ward, how it impacts our main corridors with Scotland Road, Central Avenue, all of the above. I also like the senior discount that was also applied to this. However, there are two things I'm still concerned about. The $100. I do think we should reconsider. And then the second thing is, I do think we should reconsider rolling this out in October. I think it's too soon. We need to have a dedicated and intentional rollout plan with the marketing to ensure that all residents are notified in a timely fashion. And those are my comments, if anybody wants to add or if you want to reply.
On the motion with me, I just want to, this was rolled out once before, and it was amended to decrease the fees. And so I just want to ask my council members, what is the issue with this now? Are you happy with the fees, or do we need to postpone this and talk about this some more? Because I think the main issue was, prior to this being brought back with amendments, was the fee amount. So I'm asking you guys, is this the problem, the fee amount?
Well, I also want to add that not only are we asking people to pay for parking now, but we have not increased the amount of parking spaces available to them. We've actually decreased the amount of parking spaces with all the new development and the new driveways that we've introduced into our community. So unless I see a plan where the municipality or the administration says, yes, here, we're going to put a municipal parking lot or municipal parking garage where people are able to utilize these permits and have guaranteed parking somewhere. If not, they're paying to fight for the same spaces, and it's not beneficial.
What is your comment on that?
Well, in border areas and even around train stations, the purpose, one of the things you're fighting against is people from neighboring communities coming here and parking on your streets.
Yeah.
That addresses that issue. This addresses that issue.
I know.
With respect to the commuter parking, it addresses the people who are coming and parking on streets around train stations for an entire day, commuting into New York, not paying anything, and taking up spaces on those streets. So it addresses that. In terms of the October start date, it's
six and one, half dozen the other. October's right around the corner. If you wanted an educational component, and starting it on January 1st with the new round of permits, the administration's not going to object to that. With respect to the fee, we just hired 4 new enforcement officers. We have to buy them capital equipment. Everyone wants enforcement throughout the entire city. You have to look at the revenue stream that the parking utility is going to generate, and this is one of those revenue streams, which is permit parking. And if you have permit parking and you enforce permit parking, you will cut down on the hundreds of complaints that we receive regularly. I'm like 100 a month I'm probably up to, in terms of people parking on streets where permit parking is required and they have no permit. And so we can't have it both ways. We have to pay for the services that we're providing. And if $100 is too much, you know, there has to be a fee that that addresses or satisfies people and still addresses the concern that the administration has, which is that you've got this whole infrastructure in place now, and you've got to pay for that, and you've got to enforce, and you've got to allocate the resource that you have in the parking to ensure that the residents on those streets have a place to park. And that's what the ordinance is attempting to do. You know, we can quibble about the amount. I'd like to hear what people think about the amount, because I dropped it from 150 to 100. It's 30 cents a day for a year, and you're pretty much guaranteed a space. So, and not for nothing, but we have added over 400 parking spaces in the last year. A parking lot on Highland and 2 garage spaces. 166 spaces in each garage, and 60 spaces on Highland Avenue at the new apartment building that we did for the lottery.
How many?
60.
You're talking about the new building, not the open lot across the street?
The new building.
So the new one is gonna also do an agreement for the?
No, you're talking about the old building.
The new building that's not an old building.
Not the Lincoln.
The Highland.
Right, the Highland, but those spaces are already taken, it's
On a
just
lottery,
still
and there's
crowding in the
waiting
area. Yeah,
But we've added new spaces, that's my point.
right, right.
So it's not like we haven't been looking to add new spaces. And 2 covered garages with 166 parking spaces per garage is not anything to sneeze at, particularly when they're downtown. So we're making steps, we're taking steps. This is another step in the right direction in terms of controlling the parking issues or addressing the parking issues. And if the issue is the fee, then let's discuss the fee.
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman.
For me and for people that I've spoken to about the fee, you know, some people like it, some people don't like it. But for me, when I drive past a certain development that has parking spaces and the parking lots are empty, and I'm not going to call out any particular place, but Central Avenue, Oakwood Avenue, just to name a few. And those residents who live in those homes, those apartments, those landlords provide parking spaces for those people. And some people don't want to pay to park in their building. So what they do is come to the town and get a permit. So for me, if we can make the stipulations to obtaining a permit to start with more onerous, like I live in a building and my building is charging me $75 a month for parking. I mean, we gotta make people kinda.
Park in their building.
Absolutely.
They wouldn't have
Absolutely.
to pay either way.
Because what they're doing is they're not parking in their building, they're getting permits, they're parking on the street free, and then that's taking parking spaces for people who live on the streets. So, for example, there's a part of Central Place where there are not many houses on Central Place, right? There are maybe about 7, but you have people that live in an apartment complex who have permits. And so when you have people with these permits and the number of cars that they put on that street surpass where the homes start, it's a problem. So it's not necessarily the overall ordinance or law, it's just that we need to make it more onerous to getting a permit. And then the permit is in 2 parts of the code. So it's kinda hard to understand, because if I'm said employee and I look at this part of the code, I'll give out a permit pursuant to this. So, but if I'm on another day looking at the other section that it's in, I'm giving out a permit subject to that. So as a council, I think we need to streamline the permit part of the law, and that's just Adrian. Thank you.
On the motion?
So I'm just saying, like, by January, we should have something that we can absolutely put on the books, good, bad, or indifferent. Not October.
So what I'm hearing from you, Councilwoman, is that you're not in favor of saying yes to this ordinance tonight. You want some further discussions on how this is gonna work?
I do.
Okay.
I do. To be fair to you and to be fair to my colleagues.
Well, I'm gonna ask all the council members, because I want to either have this postponed or voted on tonight, so I just want to hear what people have to say. Councilman Ward.
Thank you, sir.
Council President?
Yes.
I'll be brief. One of the concerns that I've heard repeatedly from multiple people in different parts of the city, not just in the South Ward, is that there are people who have an excessive amount of vehicles that they park on the street. And so what are the controls that we're going to put in place in this ordinance to limit the amount of permits given to maybe an individual or a household? Because if you have a household that, even if it's a 3-family household and they've got 10 cars, they're adding to the problem. I've heard from residents that said in particular that people are operating auto body shops out of their home, and they're parking a ton of cars in the street, or work vehicles, or just having a lot of cars in general, and they're parking it on the street, even if that is their own personal vehicle. People should have the liberty to do whatever they want, but if it's adding to the problems, we should have some sort of municipal control for that. And so that's one thing that I think we should add to it.
So this does have a maximum of 2 per household.
2 per household?
Yes, 2 per household.
What constitutes a household?
It's a structure. It's not a multifamily.
Okay. So if it's, say, a 2-family house, then how many households is that?
It's 1.
It's 1 for a
One structure.
2-family household.
They get 2 passes.
We need to flush that out.
That's tough.
Yeah, I think that needs some discussion.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's designed specifically for what you're addressing.
I agree, but if it's a 2-family household, that could be 4 cars, because could be 2 adults per household.
Excuse me, can you guys keep it quiet, please? One person speaks at a time here.
I certainly agree that, like, we should be limiting that, and I'm glad that we kind of fleshed that out here, but I think it still needs some more discussion. Because I think that what the problem is are the excessive ones. I've heard of an individual who has 10 vehicles that are their personal cars. They park them all in the street, and they have a driveway that they use as an auto body shop. Like, that shouldn't happen.
Okay, all right. Councilwoman Agua.
Yeah, good evening, guys, again. I was just wondering in terms of what would be, what, you don't hear me? No. Oh, sorry, thank you. what would be the mode of, to receive the payment? Is it going to be rolled out, like, do the residents have to go somewhere and click to pay, make a payment to make sure that they get it? Do they have to come in? Will it be rolled out in their taxes? How do we?
They'd have the option of doing it online or in person.
Okay, thank you.
So, do you need more time, or are you ready?
Yeah, I would ask for some more time as well.
Councilman Coley.
Yeah, real quick, we have two different things in this ordinance. We have the commuter parking and then we have the residential, parking. Can this be separated? We have one ordinance for the, commuter parking and then one for the, residential commuter parking.
Well, it's not really two separate issues in the ordinance. All I did was take certain streets. I needed a heading to put them under. The streets are those streets that are around train stations where there's the commuter issue that I talked about before, but it's still a permit parking issue. So instead of characterizing them all as transit village streets or as border streets, because that was one of the objections when we first introduced the ordinance, we broke it up into three categories that more accurately defines the areas that we're trying to regulate.
And I brought this up a few months ago when we first talked about this. State Street isn't on here. I made it clear that State Street should be added, to this list. State Street, the majority of State Street is in East Orange. However, a small part of State Street is in Orange. 67, which is at Park and State, and I believe it goes up to, I think, 51, I think it is. We put the sign up, so I forgot that last house in Orange, but it should be inserted into
That was
this
an
list as well.
oversight. That should be added.
But I still feel that it should be, two separate things. And then, yes, I definitely need some more time as well, Council President. Thank you.
Okay. And Councilwoman, we heard from you. Councilman Montague.
Yeah, I think we need a little more time, to get this matter together.
Okay, then my question would be is that we can either vote this up on the first reading and have these amendments done prior to the next meeting, which will be in September, and then vote on this again, or we can postpone it. Those are our two options.
I want to separate it, so I won't be supporting it. I want to see two separate things.
Okay, all right. Councilwoman Hilbert, I see you wanted to say something.
I think it's, I understand Councilman Coley's concerns. I want to keep them together underneath the heading because it's the same issue. And the commuter parking lot goes hand in hand with the transient village and everything else. I want to make a motion to postpone.
Okay.
Council President, can I
Yes.
just ask a question?
Yes.
Only for September.
I hear the council wanting to postpone and wanting to make amendments. What I don't hear is how you're going to convey to me what those amendments should be and what your consensus is. Because it makes no sense to go through this process again if I'm not going to have a consensus on what I'm drafting and presenting. The administration has tried twice now, right? We went back the second time and redrafted the ordinance. There are still questions. It seems to me that there needs to be some council input if this is going to happen. And it can't be at a meeting.
Council President?
Yes,
Could we just do a Google Doc?
Yes.
And then it's a live document, and then we all can.
Yes.
Can you do that without violating the Open Public Meetings Act?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We can't do it.
Well, what
So
if,
can-
what if the Google Doc is just
No.
maybe not the ordinance?
No, it's
Just
like
our
a
notes.
live.
Do it. just like you can't reply all of an email.
So, Council President, could we individually just submit something, but CC you and the Council Vice President so you know exactly where each of us stand in order to collaborate in getting a full ordinance that we can all back?
But I just like what the BA said.
Yeah.
Are we all on one accord of having a parking permit ordinance?
Oh, absolutely.
We're all saying
yes, absolutely.
Yep.
I've been
Okay.
fighting for it for 2 years.
So then, why can't we vote yes on this and have this thing amended, prior to the next meeting, with everybody's concerns being addressed?
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman.
Sorry. I have to agree with Councilman Coley splitting them up because we have a peculiar thing that we deal with on our street. And it is permit parking, but it's not really permit. It just needs to be split, I think, with Councilman Coley. I'm sorry, I called you Kerry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hampton.
Yeah. Because we live something totally different from the other council members on that street.
Okay.
It's a
I
totally
just spoke
different
with the
thing.
BA. What we'll do, we'll postpone it, and however, I'm gonna select 2 council members to work with me, regarding the amendments to make this thing happen.
Council President, do you have a deadline that you wish to have a statement from all of us?
Yes. I would like to have one as soon as possible because I would like this to be on the agenda for the September meeting. So within the next, 5 days, I would like to have something from you guys.
Fair enough. Thank
Okay?
you.
Council Vice President, will you withdraw your motion?
Yes, I withdraw my motion.
Okay. Council President?
Yes, I withdraw.
Is there a motion to postpone?
Move Wooten.
Second, Montague.
Motion to postpone is made by Councilwoman Wooten, second by Council Vice President Montague III. On the motion, roll call. Councilman Coley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes.
Councilman Rob Montague III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn.
Yes.
Councilman Ward III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten.
Yes.
Council President Ross.
Yes.
That's 7 yeas. This is being postponed to September 1st. Ordinance 32-2026, ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Orange Township to approve a tax exemption for a 23-year period and authorizing the execution of a financial agreement between the city and North Day Orange Urban Renewal LLC and authorizing a pledge agreement and other documents in connection with the issuance by the city of its redevelopment area bonds in an amount not to exceed $100,000 to finance a portion of the cost of such redevelopment project. Is there a motion?
Motion Ross.
Second, Coley.
Motion by Council President Ross, second by Councilman Coley. On the motion, roll call. Councilman Coley.
I believe the VA was making a statement on this on the motion.
Yeah, what I think everybody needs to know is what I was alluding to before when I spoke to one of the members of the public, which is that unlike several of the RAB bonds, or most of the RAB bonds that we've done, this is not a full faith and credit pledge of the municipality's taxing power. This bond will never be repaid by an increase in taxes or by any tax dollars whatsoever. It's a non-recourse bond that's paid exclusively out of a percentage or a portion of the annual service charge charged under the pilot agreement. So the money comes out of the pilot generated by the deal. So there's no pledge of any tax dollars or any taxing power of the municipality.
The money comes out of?
Out of the annual service charge, there's a pledge of a portion of the annual service charge to pay the debt's principal and interest on the RAB.
Anyone else on the motion?
Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman Wooten.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm going to support it on first reading because I know we'll have a public hearing on second reading. So I'll support it on first, do my due diligence, and then wait for the second hearing. Just want to say that on the record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else on the motion? Roll call. Councilman Coley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert?
Abstain.
Council Vice President Montague III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Osborne?
I like what my council colleague said, that I will go on the first motion of it to see.
I can't hear you. It's just
Oh, okay, this
yay,
is it.
Yay?
I'm going to go on the first motion, but that'd be yes for now.
Yes. Yes, that's a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Councilman Ward III?
No.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Ross?
Yes.
That's 1 abstain, 1 no, 5 yeas. This passes. Final reading will be on September the 1st, 2026. Consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The consent agenda consists of, we have, 366, 368, 369, 370, 371, 372, 373, 374, 375, 376, 377, 378, 379, 382, 383, 384 as amended. 385, 386, 387, 388, 389, 390, 391, 392, 393, 394, 395, 396, 397, 398, 400, 401, 403, 404, 385, 386, 387, 388, 389, 390, 391, 392, 393, 394, 395, 396, 397, 398, 400, 401, 403, 404, 408, 412, and 414. So that is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Motion Coley.
Second, Hilbert.
Motion to adopt the consent agenda was made by Councilman Coley, second by Councilwoman Hilbert. Roll call. Councilman Coley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert?
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Osborne?
Yes.
Councilman Ward III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Ross?
Yes.
That's 7 yeas, and this has been adopted. Now we go all the way back to the beginning. Can I get, I'm going to take for resolution 363, 364, and 365, I'm going to take one vote to postpone all three resolutions. Is there a motion to postpone?
Move Wooten.
Second, Montague.
Motion to postpone resolutions 363, 364, and 365 is made by Councilwoman Wooten, second by Council Vice President Montague III. On the motion, roll call. Councilman Coley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert?
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Osborne?
Yes.
Councilman Ward III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Ross?
Yes.
That's 7 yeas. This has been adopted. 367 was pulled. Okay, resolution 380-2026, a resolution authorizing reimbursement of copay amounts paid out of pocket by retired employees for 30-day generic and brand name prescriptions that exceed the copay amount of the prescription plan in place at the time of their retirement. Is there a motion?
Move Wooten.
Is there a second?
Second Coley.
Moved by Councilwoman Wooten, second by Councilman Coley. On the motion.
On the motion. So I just wanted to understand this just a little bit. I know that we're talking about retirees. Is there a physical cap on this reimbursement?
No.
No?
There's collective bargaining agreements that were in place at the time that tell them or that entitle them to a limitation on their prescription copay. So I can't put a dollar amount limitation on it because somebody could run up a bill of $1,000 and only be reimbursed $2. Or only have to have their copay be $2, so I'd have to reimburse them $9.98.
So that was a past agreement, and now the agreement has changed?
There are multiple agreements, and the new agreements for current employees, the current OMEBA agreement does not have this in it. There is a current fire agreement that has a limitation in it. The police agreements don't.
Okay. Do we have a log of how much this has cost us since these agreements were made?
Goes back 40 years.
Oh, Jesus.
Can we get it for the last 10?
No.
No way?
Well,
I just want to
first of
understand
all,
how much this costs.
I haven't been doing this.
Yeah.
Because we've been self-insured, so we've been on a zero copay. So I had to build it out last year, well, the last 3 years with our broker and our third-party TPA. And we have a formula and a spreadsheet. And I have an idea of what they spent last year. I could probably get that figure, but it's in the neighborhood. It's less than $80,000 a year.
Okay. That's what I wanted to hear.
Council President,
Yes.
can I ask you a question regarding? Sure. Okay. Is this the life of the retiree? It's the life of them?
Yes.
Okay.
For those retirees that get lifetime benefits, those contracts stay with them until they die.
So these were the contracts that were already grandfathered in. Not everybody will be getting this.
Correct.
Okay. Anyone else on the motion? Roll call. Councilman Coley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn.
Yes.
Councilman Ward III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten.
Yes.
Council President Ross.
Yes.
That's 7 yeas. This has passed. Resolution 381-2026, a resolution authorizing a non-open professional services contract to Greater Essex Counseling Services to provide youth-focused opioid prevention to the city of Orange Township youth residents from September 14, 2026 through June 25, 2027 in an amount not to exceed $30,000. Is there a motion?
Motion Coley.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Coley, second by Councilwoman Ogborn. On the motion.
On the
Council
motion.
President.
Go ahead.
Council President,
Yes.
through you to the business administrator, don't we have a grant for opioid?
Yeah, that's what this is coming out of.
That's what the
381.
30,000 is coming. So we're gonna take the 30,000 and pay them out of the grant that we received, right?
So it's not necessarily a grant. It is opioid funds from the settlement for the opioid litigation, and we get so much money a year. And so we're only allowed to spend it on certain things that are related to opioid prevention. And they've probably seen some news stories about some other places that spent the money in weird ways. We've been very adamant about spending the money on educational and prevention programming. So that's what this is for. And it's paid for out of the opioid funds.
Do you know what the total amount of that grant fund is?
The total amount that we received so far? It's over $1.1 million.
Okay.
Since when?
I mentioned the amount, but since when? About 2022.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On the motion, I just wanted to ask, our West Ward council person mentioned that we do have organizations that are local here in Orange that we could be servicing with this rather than going forth with a good organization that is doing good things in Newark. But I feel like we should be supporting companies that exist right here in Orange so that you don't have to transport people all the way to Newark to take care of these needs, these educational programs. We should just use our homegrown resources. The thing that pauses me for anything that comes across my desk that says non-fair and open contract, that's a red flag to me. It shouldn't be non-fair. It should go out to bid.
That's just a statutory term for a method of awarding a contract that doesn't go through or is exempt from public bidding requirements.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of non-fair and open contracts that are done everywhere. It's not what it sounds like.
Oh, I understand. When a water main bursts, I get it. We have to fix that as quickly as possible, and we use whatever means to do so. But for something like this, it seems like it's free money and we're just giving it away. We should at least be mindful about who we're giving it to. And yes, Greater Essex is a good organization. I'm not saying that they're bad, but why not prop up something that's local here in Orange? Orange is only 2.2 square miles. If we can't support our own people, who will?
Well, contracting doesn't necessarily work that way. As I've had this discussion with Councilman Ross repeatedly, on the procurement of goods and services, there are exemptions for the public bidding requirements for professional service contracts. There are requirements for public bidding that exempt or knock out most of our local entities that could otherwise bid. In this particular case, part of the reason, Greater Essex has done a lot of work in Orange, on Orange projects. They've done opioid education for us. They've done a spectacular job. The money is well spent. We have a short window of time within which we can spend the money. So going through an extended procurement process when you have someone that is qualified, can do the work, and is doing the work in other places made a lot more sense so that we could actually get the grant dollars expended in the time frame that we need to.
And the local Orange companies couldn't do that?
We'd have to go through a procurement process because we've never put them through a procurement process before, whereas at Greater Essex we have.
What's the time limit?
I'd have to go back and look.
If we gave them 60 days, could they do it?
Let me just look at the resolution because I think the agreement is attached.
Council.
My concern is when we're talking about opioids, you want to access somebody as quickly as possible. You want their resources to be close so they continue to use it. And so if we have someone who's offering counseling services in our schools that's located within our borders, so someone doesn't have to take a train or a bus, then that's going to lower recidivism. If somebody actually has a real problem and somebody's here within our community that can help them, I think that that's probably the best way to go.
On the motion, Council President,
Yes,
I also
ma'am.
wanted to add, if we do the vetting, can we at some point make sure that what our council colleague is that Rain has an opportunity, probably we will know what is entitled and what is in, to get the contracts or get this bid or the grants so that we know, make sure that we're our homegrown, make sure that they have first dibs. Once we find out what's the requirements for the contract, then possibly in the time frame that possibly they can know what it is and it entails, so that they can have a fair chance at the bidding as well.
Can we give them 30 days?
30 days.
Can we give them 30 days?
You know, this is the contract that the administration has put forward. Council can vote as they see fit. This is a more than qualified entity to do the work that they're being asked to do in conjunction with the Board of Education. And they're committing to embed somebody within the school district. You know, it's a good contract. It's a good service provider. It ought to be approved.
School doesn't start until September. I think we should wait until then, and then we can get it on board. We have time.
Council President.
Yes, Councilwoman Hilbert.
First and foremost, thank you to my colleagues who did have input. Like I said, I'm really pleased and motivated to see us having this real dialogue. So I appreciate this. I want to be very clear in my statement. I am not questioning what Greater Essex is doing. I know some men and women that work there. I love the work that they're doing in the community. They're always at our events, and I know some people who live in our community that I sent to Greater Essex. I just want to be very clear that it's all about equitable opportunities, and we have local people. We can't say that we want to hire local, but we don't contract locally. And we're talking about how our dollars are being spent, and we should have local experts and nonprofits and businesses who can partake in the daily municipality operations. So again, this is not a blight to the organization. I just want there to be a reconsideration, and also it does say that there's data tracking, but not once has the council ever received data in regards to what Greater Essex has done with the last awarded funds that we've given them. So I think that should be a part of their presentation. If they want to expand on their services in our community, they should let us know what has been their impact in the community down to the data, the number of households, the number of people hired or recovered or recuperated or reformed. We need data that we can use to support our decision making. So thank you.
I think that's a great point, and I don't think that Greater Essex would have a problem with that. I think they would supply us with any data that is necessary that we want to see. But to your point where you know them, I know them very well too. They're always in the community. You know, they've done great things for the community. But I can say that moving forward, I don't know how much money is left in this grant. Okay, but we can, you know, go out next time and look for somebody from the community, from the Orange community.
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman.
I just want to say, I have received data from them because I went to them and asked them to give me information regarding the stats of what they do in Orange. So most humbly, when you said none of us, I do have, or have had data from them. I just wanted to correct that on the record, because I don't want them to see this and say, hey, Adrian, we gave you some stuff. What are you talking? Why didn't you say something?
But that's you personally, and none of us knew about that till now. And then we have new colleagues as well, so I think we should make it a protocol. It should be a part of our processes that the entire council is addressed, or it should go directly to the council president, who in good conscience would share it with us, or directly to our clerk, because that is her main purpose, to make sure that we're all informed.
Actually,
but we have the,
just to be clear,
right.
Yes.
The administration of contracts is an administrative function. So any reporting would go to the administration, because it has to be done for grant compliant purposes anyway.
Okay.
And then it can be distributed to the council through the administration.
So that's a clear path. So now that we're all aware, that's what I would recommend should we do moving forward, because one person can't hold on information and not share with the others.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Roll call. Councilman Coley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
We're postponing or we're keeping?
This was voting on this. It's voting up. The motion is to adopt.
I cannot vote it in its current form, so without responsible procurement.
So
or
your answer
options.
is, your answer
So,
is?
hold on, I'm getting there. My answer will be abstain.
Council Vice President Markey III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn.
I'm going to say yes, but I would like moving forward.
This is not discussion time.
Oh,
That's
shit.
what I was
Okay.
trying to explain.
Okay,
Anything
okay,
that's on this
moving on.
discussion, we discussed before. I wasn't
Okay.
trying to stop you. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Councilman Ward III.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Wooten.
Yes.
Council President Ross.
Yes.
That's 2 abstains and 5 yeas. This is adopted. Resolution 399-2026, an enabling resolution authorizing an acceptance of the 2026 State of New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Green Acres and the Garden State Preservation Trust Metcalf Park Improvements Project number 0717-023-0914 in the amount of $606,144. Is there a motion?
Motion Coley.
Second, Wooten.
Motion by Councilman Coley, second by Councilwoman Wooten. On the motion.
On the motion, through Council President, I'm totally in support of fixing up Metcalf Park. We have 3 resolutions today that put forth about $1.65 million. I've not seen a plan for what's supposed to be happening. I've heard that there's going to be a dog park. I've heard that we're going to be fixing up part of the playground, but I've just heard these things. I've not seen it. And I think we've spent nearly $3 million already fixing up this park, and it looks exactly the same. Like the parts that have changed were actually done through other organizations. So I think that we really need to see a plan before we allocate this much money. Again, I understand that Green Acres has a lot of oversight, but I don't see any green happening in any of these parks. I need to see some trees. I need to see tangible change to what's happening in Metcalf Park before I can vote on this. And so for that, I think we should table it until we get a presentation as to what's happening with this large amount of money.
Pardon the interruption. This is not appropriating or awarding a grant. This is just accepting a grant. So they applied, and then now this is to accept the grant. So this is to accept the funds, and then a contract will have to come at a later time.
I know that we had to submit something to get the grant. I just want to see what that something was.
I don't know
Before you accept
necessarily agree that.
We had to apply for it, so we had to tell
But
Green
you need to
Acres.
see it before you accept the grant or before you award the contract?
It's a good point. I will think.
Okay.
But again, we have spent a considerable amount of money on this park, and it looks the same.
Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman.
are you saying that you wanted to see what the application, what the purpose was stated on the application when they applied for the funds? Was that your
So from my
reason?
understanding, when you apply for Green Acres funds, they're very particular as to how you're spending this money. And so, like I said, I've heard
Okay.
there's inklings as to what this is for, but I don't know what it's for, and I just want to know what it's for.
Yeah, this particular grant is exclusively for the construction of the small dog park. And there's a
All?
plan, yeah, there's a plan that you can look at
That's going to be a fantastic
in
dog
Mr.
park.
Mays' office, or we can bring it, you know, wherever you want to see it. But there is a plan that was submitted. It's been drafted by an architect. So
Okay.
So this is just to accept.
So I'm just curious, this is free money. It's free. I don't care what the plan is. I mean, the plan is going to improve Metcalf Park. Would you agree to that?
I would
Whatever
say-
it is.
I would say no.
No?
Because
How
I've
can
seen
it
Green
hurt?
Acres.
How could it hurt?
I've seen our Green Acres funds spent on a lot of things in the city, and it's not very green. Trees make a huge difference, and we desperately need trees in this city. I haven't seen any trees planted in the entire time I've lived in the city.
Okay,
And that's all I want to see.
thank you.
We good? Okay. Roll call. Councilman Coley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert?
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn?
Yes.
Councilman Ward III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Ross?
Yes.
That's 7 yeas. This has been adopted. Resolution 402-2026, a resolution amending Resolution 338 entitled Resolution Authorizing Approval of to submit a grant with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the City of Orange Township 2027 Municipal Aid Roadway Improvements to Austin Road, Tremont Avenue, and Valley Street. Is there a motion?
Motion Cooley.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Coley, second by Councilwoman Hilbert. On the motion,
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman.
So we are adding these specific streets, right? So is there any way that we can add Oakwood Avenue? Because Oakwood Avenue is far worse than Tremont.
The answer to that question is no. And Oakwood Avenue has already been included in another plan.
Can you speak into the mic? I didn't hear you, BA.
I'm sorry. The answer to the question about whether or not we can add it to the list is no, and Oakwood Avenue has already been included in another plan.
But the speed bumps are starting to crumble on Oakwood Avenue.
I will make it my business to
It's
go out and
bad,
look
man.
at Oakwood Avenue with Mr. Mays before I go on vacation.
no.
When's that?
I leave Monday.
Thank you.
Anyone else on the motion?
On the motion, is there any other streets that could be added?
No, not to this particular program. If there are streets that you want evaluated, get me the names, I'll have the engineers look at them and in conjunction with everything else that they do, and we'll see whether or not some of those streets have deteriorated faster than others that are ranked higher than them on the list.
Okay.
On the motion, I will just say that I appreciate that all three of these streets are in the South Ward. Although Austin and Tremont are very nice streets, the Valley Road is also in desperate need of repair. West Orange fixed their end of Valley, and it's wonderful. And you know exactly when you hit Orange because you hit a lot of potholes. The only thing that I would add to this is just that we should be preserving our street trees. That should be a part of this contract. I know that oftentimes when streets are paved, we get the new infrastructure of sidewalks and curbs, they cut down all the trees, whether they are in the way or not, because it makes the job easier for them. We need to preserve our trees as much as possible down Austin, down Tremont, and down Valley within this contract. With those conditions, I have no problem voting yes.
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman.
I haven't seen any streets in the East Ward on any of this that I've read with street improvements tonight. So can we please do some
I have a
streets
list by ward.
in the East
I'll
Ward?
provide it to you.
All of it?
It's all South Ward.
No.
South
I
Ward
have a list of
and
all
West
the-
Ward.
I have a list of all the streets.
Carrie, come on, chime in. I'm sorry,
by
Councilman
ward,
Coley, chime in with me
and
now.
there is an equal number of streets per ward.
Everybody has a season.
Let's not forget South Street.
That's right.
And-
South Street.
This is why I made my map, so that you can see it.
And
That's why I made the map.
anyone else on the motion?
Oakwood Avenue.
I think maybe White Street in North Ward.
That would be, yeah.
Yeah.
And North Jefferson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Roll call. Councilman Coley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert?
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn?
Yes.
Councilman Ward III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Ross?
Yes.
That's 7 yeas. This passes. Resolution 405-2026, a resolution rescinding 226-20 46-2026 and approving and authorizing the execution of a contract for emergency medical services in the city of Orange Township with Carewell Health Medical Center for 3 years, commencing August 2nd, 2026 through December 31st, 2028, at no cost to the city of Orange Township. Is there a motion?
Motion Coley.
Motion by Councilman Coley, second by Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Oh, it was? No, Councilwoman Ogburn, I'm sorry, I didn't look up. On the motion.
No, it was Wooten.
There was Wooten.
It was you?
It was 2 people, so I don't know.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
I'm putting, yes, sir. On the motion.
On the motion, Council President, I think that we've voted on this. Well, I didn't vote on it, but this has been voted on by this council body in the past, very recently. And I'm going to echo the comments that were made at public comments that University Hospital is a level 1 trauma center. I've had a close friend who suffered a stroke, and when they called 911, the people who came to their aid were trained in trauma response. It was not medical transport, and that's what saved his life. One of my neighbors was also shot and was taken to, and yes, people do get shot in the South Ward. Okay, one of my neighbors was shot and was taken to University Hospital. He was given life-saving support along the way. He did later die, but his life was preserved in the moment because we have University Hospital in that capacity. I don't know why we would change it for another reason. I do know that East Orange is much closer, but if something bad happened to me or anybody that I know, I would want them to have the best care possible, and that would be University Hospital.
Thank you.
Anyone else on the motion?
On the motion, I also agree with my colleague, and also I'm reading the letter from University Hospital. I think they're doing a job, and they, spread it out, and we had a contract with them, and I think we should remain.
Thank you.
Roll call. Councilman Coley.
No.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
No.
Council Vice President Montague III.
No.
Councilwoman Ogburn.
No.
Councilman Ward III.
No.
Councilwoman Wooten.
No.
Council President Ross.
No.
That's 7 noes. This does not pass. Resolution 406-2026 as amended. A resolution authorizing change order number 1, change order number 3 to modify the contract for the professional engineering design, bidding support, and construction administration services, task A through J, for the project known as the PFAS treatment facility at the Chestnut Street Pumping Station Improvement Project with ACOM 30 Knightsbridge Road, Building 5, Suite 520, Piscataway, New Jersey 08854, for an additional $392,577, making a new amount not to exceed $1,693,537. Is there a motion?
Motion Coley.
Second, Montague.
Motion by Councilman Coley, second by Council Vice President Montague III. On the motion.
On the motion, Council President, 6 years ago, I talked about PFAS, and I gave a presentation about the different means and methods for mitigating PFAS. At the time, I worked for this company, AECOM. They are one of the best providers for fixing this, and I'm glad that they're our contractor. Outside of that, I would say we have these contract language that says not to exceed, but yet we're continuously exceeding and adding costs, and no one's telling us why this is happening. I think that we need to understand what is the rationale here? There's also a little bit of a discrepancy between the listed charges of $292,577 in the title, but then it requests $392,000. There's an unexplained $100,000 change there. I think that we need to just understand what is the rationale for this raise. I understand that it's something that we have to do, that we need to do, but I don't take it lightly that we're going to spend an extra $400,000 nearly for something that was already contracted and said that it shouldn't exceed a certain cost number. So I think that AECOM needs to come here and tell us why.
Yeah. Change order number 1 has to do with a topographic survey that needed to be conducted after we did the demolition, and AECOM quoted before we did the demolition and proposed and did not include the topographic survey because at the time, DPW, who was handling the demolition, thought that they were going to do the topographic survey with the demolition, and they did not. So I had to have the topographic survey added before they could actually do any site work. The second change order was when we did the demolition, there is a wall of the old building that also serves, we didn't know at the time, as a retaining wall for an adjoining residential property, mixed-use property. And when the engineers came out and looked at that wall and did some borings, they determined that that wall was not sufficient to actually continue as a wall of the new facility. So the wall needed to be redesigned and rebuilt, and that's the second change order. The third change order, or the third change in cost, is really an estimate. And it's an estimate based on the original contract with AECOM allows for annual rate increases for their work. The 26 annual rate increases for the amount of work that they have to do between now and when we go to bid, I estimate it to be $100,000. I could be, in all candor, I could be off by $50,000. I didn't want to have to come back twice and ask for an additional authorization, which is why it's a not to exceed number. I'm still within budget for the project, which is a very expensive project, as you know. But these are change orders that are necessary or required by contract.
What's the budget and how much do we have left?
The budget is $15 million. The budget on the AECOM portion of the project is 1.6, and we're within the 1.6.
How much do we have left?
We have approximately $800,000 to $900,000 left for final drawings and bids and construction oversight.
And we should be within that to
Yes.
finish. Okay.
Okay. Roll call. Councilman Coley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes.
Council Vice President Mikey III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ward III.
Councilman? Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten. Yes. Council President Ross.
Yes.
That's 7 yeas. This has been adopted. Resolution 407-2026, a resolution of the City of Orange Township and the City of Essex, State of New Jersey, authorizing an application to the Local Finance Board requesting approval to issue not to exceed $100,000 non-recourse redevelopment area bonds to finance a portion of the North Day Orange LLC redevelopment project pursuant to NJSA 40:12A-29A3 and NJSA 40A:12A-67G. Is there a motion?
Motion Coley.
Second Hilbert.
Motion by Councilman Coley, second by Councilwoman Hilbert. On the motion. Roll call. Councilman Coley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn.
Yes.
Councilman Ward III.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Wooten.
Yes.
Council President Ross.
Yes.
That's 6 yeas, 1 abstain. This has been adopted. Resolution 409, resolution designating North Day Orange Urban Renewal LLC as the developer for the property located at 57, 63, 65, and 69 North Day Street and identified on the official tax map of the City of Orange Township as Block 2001, Lots 30, 31, 32, and 33, and authorizing the execution of a redevelopment agreement with North Day Orange Urban Renewal LLC for the redevelopment of this property. Is there a motion?
Motion Ross.
Second Coley.
Motion got by Council President Ross, second by Councilman Coley. On the motion.
On the motion, Council President, my biggest concern with these pilot programs is exactly what everyone is always complaining about. We're trying to bring more revenue to our city. We're canning out these tax pilots that are very long. They're generational, and oftentimes they get renewed, and so we never see an equalized revenue source from these buildings. In addition to that, my chief concern with this particular instance is that the total construction cost of this project is $3.98 million. Their community benefits agreement is $388,000, which is less than 1% of.
That's not true.
That's what it says.
No.
What's wrong?
What it says is that anything I just have to find the page. Oh, that's the redevelopment agreement. You're talking about the community benefits agreement.
Yeah, I'm bundling the three together because
Okay,
we're
well,
talking about the
community-
same building.
Yeah, the community benefit is the improvements to the central firehouse, and they're estimated to cost roughly around $700,000. So the revenue that would have been generated from the formula would have been 388. So he has to do all the work between 388 and 700, and I can tell you from our estimates, it's going to be 700.
So the community benefit is that the contractor who's building this is going to do the work to fix the central firehouse?
Correct.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Can we also get them to fix the other firehouse? Because it's the same issue, but it's smaller.
We already did with the 100 Main Street development, a $1.8 million community benefit to fix the Washington Street firehouse.
And they're doing that out of their construction
Correct.
costs? All right, that's exactly what I want to hear. Thank you.
Okay. Roll call. Councilman Coley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert?
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn?
Yes.
Councilman Ward III?
No.
Councilwoman Wooten?
Yes.
Council President Ross?
Yes.
That is 6 yeas, 1 no. This still passes. This will pass. I'm going to stop right here and take a motion to extend the meeting as we are close to 10:30. So can I?
Motion to extend the meeting until 11?
Is there a second?
Second.
Who seconded it? That was you. This okay. Motion by Councilman Ward III, second by Councilwoman Ogborn. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The meeting is extended till 11. Okay. Resolution 410-2026, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a community benefits agreement with North Day Orange Urban Renewal LLC for the redevelopment of the property located at 57, 63, 65, and 69 North Day Street and identified on an official tax map of the City of Orange Township as Block 2001, lots 30, 31, 32, and 33. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Ross.
Second.
Motion by Council President Ross, second by Council Vice President Montague III. On the motion, roll call. Councilman Coley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert?
No.
Council Vice President Montague III?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn?
Abstain.
Councilman Ward?
Abstain.
Councilwoman Wooten. Sorry.
Point of order. Council President, through you to the Law Department, I just want to make it, I just want to say that I want to change my vote to yes.
Okay. So I'm going to, okay, and Council President Ross?
Yes.
So that's Councilman Coley was a yes, Councilwoman Hilbert is a yes, Council Vice President Montague III was a yes, Councilwoman Ogburn was abstained, Councilman Ward III was abstained, Wooten and Councilwoman Wooten, sorry, apologies, is a yes, and Council President Ross is a yes. That is 5 yeas and 2 noes. This is adopted.
2 abstentions.
2 abstentions. What did I just say? 2 abstentions. Thank you. For the record, that's 5 yeas, 2 abstentions. This is adopted. Resolution 411-2026, a resolution authorizing the renewal of a contract with CDW-G 230 North Milwaukee Avenue, Vernon Hills, Illinois 60. $12,491.77 beginning August 16, 2026 until August 15, 2027. Is there a motion?
Motion Coley.
Second, Montague.
Motion by Councilman Coley, second by Council Vice President Montague III. On the motion.
On the motion, Council President, did we not vote on this the last council meeting?
No, so this is a new resolution for a contract from August of this year to next year. On July 1st, you guys voted on, it was a resolution to increase the contract for the prior year for additional services, which was additional seats for Zoom.
So I'll echo my concern from the last council meeting. We have Office 365, we have a contract. Typically, from all the contracts I've ever seen with Microsoft Office, they throw in Teams with it. So we don't need to pay for additional Zoom services. If you have an email that has a Microsoft Exchange account, it should have Microsoft Teams with it. This is a cost, even though it seems nominal of $12,000, we shouldn't have to pay it because we have it already. We have the same service with Microsoft Teams. It's literally no difference in how it's used. There's literally no difference in the amount of service that it is, and training, it's nothing. It's literally just 2 different softwares. We could save $12,000.
Councilman Ward, I think the BA answered that question in the last meeting, that we don't have 365, or we don't have the capacity for 365 right now.
You log in through your email through Microsoft Exchange, that is Office, that is Office 365. That's how it works.
You can log in that way, but we don't have the 365 software.
It's not software, it's a service. The email is the service. We have Word, we have Excel, we have PowerPoint, yes? That's Office 365.
No, we have Outlook 216.
So we're not paying for Microsoft Office for any employees? They don't have Word or Excel?
Executive employees and certain other employees within departments. And in October, assuming certain council action, we will migrate to Microsoft 365, and we will upgrade certain desktops and laptops to an operating system that actually handles 365. Because right now we have computers that are old and are not compatible with 365.
You're saying 365 as though it's something new or different?
No,
Office
it's not.
365 has existed since Windows 1998. Like, it's not a new thing. Teams is literally just an add-on software that Microsoft created to compete with Zoom during the pandemic, and they throw it in for free when you have any of their services.
I would suggest, as I did in my email earlier today, that if you want to do a deeper dive on this, I'm happy to sit down with you and my IT supervisor.
All right.
All right.
On the motion? So just following this conversation, this dialogue, if we approve this today, is there room for the conversation that's going to be had to just be proactive for next year? To once those computers are updated, then we can look into using the Microsoft Teams, the add-on?
The plan is to use it once we have the new computers and the upgrade.
Do you have a timeline for when all the computers will be compatible in the city?
So it depends upon the adoption of a capital bond ordinance, which the funds for which will be used to purchase the computers and upgrade them.
And this is also including the police station and the court?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Roll call. Councilman Coley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes.
Councilman Martin III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn.
Yes.
Councilman Ward III.
No.
Councilwoman Wooten.
No.
Council President Ross.
Yes.
That's 5 yeas, 2 noes. This is adopted. Resolution 413-2026. The recommendation is to postpone. A resolution referring proposed ordinance number, an ordinance amending the zoning code to prohibit data centers to the Orange Township Planning Board for review and report pursuant to NJSA 40:55D-26 and supporting its adoption, submitted by Council Member at Large Adrian Wooten. Is there a motion to postpone?
Move, Wooten.
Second, Montague.
Motion to postpone is made by Councilwoman Wooten, second by Council Vice President Montague III. On the motion, roll call. Councilman Coley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes.
Councilman Montague III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn.
Yes.
Councilman Ward III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten.
Yes.
Council President
Yes.
Ross. That's 7 yeas. This is postponed to the September 1st meeting. All right. Can I get a motion? There's 2 walk-ons. Resolution 415-2026 WO, a resolution of the Municipal Council of the City of Orange Township celebrating the life, legacy, and extraordinary public service of Cynthia Y. Brown, RMC, CMC, sponsored by Council President Clifford R. Ross and the City of Orange Township Municipal Council. Resolution 416-2026 WO, a resolution recognizing and honoring the 2026 Junior Public Safety Academy graduating class for their commitment to leadership, service, and public safety, sponsored by Council President Clifford R. Ross and the City of Orange Township Municipal Council. Is there a motion to walk these 2 resolutions on?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Council Vice President Montague III, second by Councilwoman Ogborn. On the motion, roll call. Councilman Coley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes.
Councilman Montague III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ogborn.
Yes.
Councilman Ward III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten.
Yes.
Council President
Yes.
Ross. That's 7 yeas. This is adopted. These are now walked on. We'll take a motion to vote on both.
Move, Wooten.
Second.
Thank you. Councilwoman, moved by Councilwoman Wooten, second by Councilwoman Hilbert. On the motion, roll call. Councilman Coley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague III. Councilwoman Ogborn.
Yes.
Councilman Ward III.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wooten.
Yes.
Council President Ross.
Yes.
Yes.
That's 7 yeas. These both have been adopted. There's no old business. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move, Wooten.
Second.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Wooten, second by Councilwoman Ogborn. All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Any opposed? We stand dismissed at 10:36 p.m. The next scheduled municipal council conference and regular meeting will be held on Tuesday, September the 1st, 2026 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers, 4th floor, City Hall, 29 North Day Street, Orange, New Jersey, 07050. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
You too.
I know.